It's Monday, November 24th. Today, a weekend water main break affects operations at a Winnipeg hospital, what the WRHA is telling patients. A Winnipeg man speaks out after he says a hospital put his life in danger, why doctors say his story is becoming more common. And dodging the competition, the weekend championship that welcomed teams from across Canada and the U.S. to Winnipeg. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Monday. Welcome to Your Morning Winnipeg. We're so happy you're here with us today. Ainsley McPhail is live talking all about Movember, because November is getting to the end, and Movember is very important. It's all about talking about male issues, of course, prostate cancer and other mental health programs geared just for men. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that and how you can support the cause.
And here I thought it was just about the mustache.
It is about the mustache as well. My husband's growing one right now. I can't wait for this month to be over. But the 24th, we're exactly 1 month away from Christmas Eve.
Wow, how time
so
flies.
crazy. And it doesn't look like it. Doesn't feel like it.
It was 10 degrees yesterday. I mean,
Wow.
if you round up 9.8, that's what we ended up getting to yesterday. It's not going to be quite that warm today, but still beautiful. Let's take a look. As far as the conditions go today, very clear to kick things off. -4 is where we're sitting right now with those temperatures, which, as far as temps go, that is well above normal. Seasonal lows for this time of year would be around -14, I think. So yeah, almost 10 degrees above seasonal. Northwest winds 13 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 92%. Those clear conditions this morning will mean plenty of sunshine through the day. Here's a look right now at the satellite image. You can see what I'm talking about. Certainly over the southeast right now, we're in a clear moment. Parts of central Manitoba as well. A few more clouds just off to the west of us. You can see a little bit of scattered snow just showing up in there as well. Further into the north, there's also going to be a little bit of extra cloud coverage this morning and maybe some scattered flurries. Staying quite clear for us through the day today, but tonight some heavier clouds start to move in, and those clouds are going to be sticking around for tomorrow. There is the possibility of a few flakes of snow. The temperatures will certainly be cooling down throughout this week. This week is going to be that rude awakening of what winter can feel like. Today still beautiful and balmy and above seasonal, pushing up into those plus digits to about 3 degrees. Now -5 is a normal daytime high. We will be sliding closer to those numbers as it cools down. But as we're looking toward the weekend, it gets below seasonal. We will enjoy a lot more sunshine toward the latter part of the week, but certainly through tomorrow and maybe lingering into Wednesday, some heavier clouds will be sticking around.
Thank you, Terry. A water main break over the weekend is affecting operations at Winnipeg's Seven Oaks Hospital. The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority says flooding was discovered in a lower level of the hospital around 10 Saturday night. It later led to the discovery of a water main break requiring a full water shutdown in the hospital. The WRHA says work is being done now to correct the break and to secure a temporary water supply for the hospital. Any patients scheduled for appointments or services impacted by this issue will be contacted directly. As well, any Seven Oaks Hospital dialysis patients with questions about their upcoming appointments can call 204-795-3735. A Winnipeg man says he was not being properly treated at a local hospital, so he left and went to a different one, all while having a heart attack. CTV's Alex Carpa has his story and a warning from doctors that this sort of thing is happening more often.
Yeah, this is what my heart looked like.
Heymana Romana was experiencing terrible chest pain on July 10th, 2022.
I can't describe it. You're sweating, your hands, you can feel yourself drifting off because of the pain so severe.
He went to Winnipeg's Health Sciences Centre where he was triaged and told to wait in the emergency room. But after 2 hours, his pain kept getting worse, and he says no one came to help him.
You're sitting there thinking, I'm going to die.
He realized he couldn't wait any longer and left to get help elsewhere. Within 15 minutes of arriving at another hospital, doctors told him he was having a STEMI heart attack, a blockage in a coronary artery, and needed immediate treatment.
The surgeons and the doctors down at St. Boniface Hospital saved my life.
Shared Health, which runs Manitoba's largest hospital, says patients get scored based on their symptoms when they arrive in the ER. This score determines how often they should be reassessed. Romana says he required checks every 15 minutes, but claims that did not happen.
This is becoming more and more of an issue.
In an ideal situation, cardiologists advise a patient with a STEMI should have their artery opened up within 90 minutes.
People can misdiagnose, people can make mistakes, these sorts of things happen, but a STEMI is really one of the, small number of situations where that person should be taken to the angiography theater immediately.
Romana has had a tough couple of years. He says his heart now only pumps between 35 to 40%, which has put him in heart failure.
Once upon a time, I could, ride my bike 20K, run 5K. I can't do anything then.
He has since filed several complaints against the hospital and hopes his story will shed light on ongoing issues in the ER. Alex Carper, CTV News, Winnipeg.
If you're passing through Chinatown in Winnipeg this week, you might notice some construction firing up.
And we'll dump it. There we go.
On Saturday, the federal government announced $20 million in combined funding to build a 7-story apartment building on the former Shanghai restaurant site at 232 King Street. It will have 54 affordable units. Principal architect Ray Wan says they started their preparations in April and permits were ready by August, adding people will start seeing a lot of activity this week.
Assuming all weather, no weather factors or delivery logistical issue, ideally 18 months. I personally think 18 to 20 months is reasonable. We're all ready. The shop drawings are all coming through, is all being answered. So I'm looking for a very exciting accelerated project.
The funding includes $14.3 million from Ottawa, $3.7 million from the province, and $2 million from the city's Housing Accelerator Fund agreement. At a G7 meeting Sunday, the public safety minister said the federal government's rollout of its contentious gun buyback program is set to launch nationally after a pilot project wrapped in Nova Scotia.
We believe the systems are operational and are ready to go. I will be sharing our next steps on the program as we roll out throughout the country, but it is significant to see that we will be rolling the program out across Canada.
The government launched its pilot program in Cape Breton earlier this fall. Results of that early rollout have not been released, and there's no word yet on when the national rollout is expected to begin. Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke Sunday with Ukraine's president about the next steps in a peace agreement with Russia. Both Carney and Volodymyr Zelensky say they support U.S. efforts to reach a negotiated peace plan with Moscow, though they want to see changes to what has been proposed. This comes as U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio led talks with a Ukrainian delegation in Geneva. While Rubio says no agreement was reached and work still needs to be done, he did say progress was made on crafting a plan to end the war. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is putting on another show. The world's most active volcano has erupted dozens of times over the past year. Experts believe the episodes are all part of the same eruption because magma is following the same pathway to the surface. Lava from the south vent of the summit crater has shot 400 meters into the air. It has remained contained on the crater and isn't threatening residential areas. Dodgeball Manitoba hosted the Western Dodgeball Championships over the weekend. The two-day national tournament was held at the Dakota Fieldhouse in St. Vital. Saturday was for gender divisions and Sunday was for mixed divisions. One of the athletes said it was just like what you might remember from gym class, but with a comprehensive rule book.
6 versus 6, and there's 6 balls on the court, and the goal is to eliminate the other team first, and then you play for 40 minutes, and whoever accumulates the most points wins the match.
Nick Renee added that Winnipeg always sends around 7 players to club championships, with majority of them playing in the playoffs. He also said that on an international stage, Canada is one of the juggernauts playing against the U.S., Malaysia, and Hong Kong. Here's a look now what's happening at Confusion Corner. Looks like things are slowly picking up over here, but overall moving quite well. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, please text them to us at 10400.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Tommy Guns this morning. It's Movember. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. Yep, it's time to shave that mustache. Well, I guess it's not at the end of the month yet. That's when you'd be doing it. Movember has done such amazing things for men's health in this country. Now, originally chatting about prostate cancer, now it broadens the conversation about men's health. And here at Tommy Guns, proceeds of those cuts will go towards the initiative. And since they've taken part in this, they've raised over $400,000 for men's health. Throughout the morning, we're going to be chatting with folks from the Men's Health Clinic. We're going to be chatting with Winnipeg's Movember ambassador, Jesse Thomas. He's been doing this for many, many years now, organizing local events surrounding it. And we're also going to be talking about men's mental health with local comedian who so many people know, Big Daddy Taz. Back to you guys.
I like that calendar. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's feeling really good again today.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be another beautiful one to enjoy, knowing that things are going to start to change later on throughout this week. And by beautiful, I'm talking not just above seasonal, but above the freezing mark. We're going to be pushing up into the plus digits once again, and we'll do it with plenty of sunshine. Of course, we're waiting till almost 8 o'clock now for that to rise. And of course, it is a little bit cool to kick things off this morning. But by cool, I mean a normal daytime high. We're sitting right now at -5, and that would be a seasonal high temperature. You'd expect to be reaching that at 2, 3 in the afternoon. And instead, here we are, just barely 6 a.m. Winds, they're 14 clicks out of the west-northwest, with the pressure rising and the humidity is sitting at 96%. It is clear out here this morning, which means we'll enjoy plenty of that sunshine today. Not everybody is going to be quite so lucky, though. Central, southern Manitoba, or southeastern Manitoba, certainly. Southwestern Manitoba, more of a mix of sun and cloud, although we might see a few of those clouds building up through the day to a mix of sun and cloud. Northern Manitoba, primarily cloudy, and those are the conditions that we can expect tomorrow as the clouds will be moving in overnight. Could even possibly see some scattered flakes of snow. But the temperature today, +3 degrees. Nothing wrong with that. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Give a child a winter coat. You give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
The Manitoba Nurses Union has voted to grey list a second hospital in the province due to unsafe working conditions. About 97% of nurses voted Friday in favor of the measure at Thompson General Hospital in northern Manitoba after a shooting in its chapel this year. Grey listing is a move nurses can take to discourage others from taking jobs at a hospital they deem unsafe. Earlier this summer, nurses voted to grey list Winnipeg's Health Sciences Centre after a string of sexual assaults outside the hospital and one assault inside. Canada and India have agreed to what is being called a comprehensive economic partnership, marking a significant shift in what has been a contentious relationship between the two countries. Ottawa and New Delhi have been pursuing a free trade agreement on and off for more than a decade, a pact that has taken on more urgency during the United States' ongoing trade war. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
Prime Minister Mark Carney wrapped up his latest foreign trip, taking big steps towards trading more with India. Does your government view India as a reliable trading partner?
In terms of trade, yes, we do, actually. You can be both a reliable trading partner and there will be some sources of friction.
After saying that, Carney sat down with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, their second one-on-one meeting in the last 6 months. And the two emerged announcing Canada and India are launching negotiations towards a new economic partnership agreement.
The ability to have more effective trade with them, to scale that trade with them, would be greatly helped by that.
This reset comes after years of strained relations over allegations India denies of involvement in criminal activity on Canadian soil.
With respect to any forms of foreign interference, we have to remain vigilant. We are vigilant.
Carney also announced that after talking on the sidelines of the G20 summit, he and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa agreed to launch talks towards a new bilateral investment agreement. Since taking office, the Prime Minister has secured nearly a dozen new economic and security partnerships in a push to diversify away from the United States. And as he pursues more deals, Carney said Canadians shouldn't consider that engagement as an endorsement of everything a country does.
There are countries that we're not doing business with, that we're not talking to.
Asked when he last spoke to U.S. President Donald Trump, Carney dismissed the question. The Prime Minister said he's been busy, and when the Americans want to resume trade talks, Canada's ready.
Justice Minister Sean Fraser addressed an audience at the Halifax International Security Forum Sunday on a panel focused on the role of decency in functioning democracies.
Putting institutions in place to actually make sure that we have the ability to know the difference between what's real and what's fake, knowing that we have protections for an independent media that isn't going to be subjected to the erosion of their freedom to participate in the political marketplace and political conversations.
Fraser says the key to this discussion is the protection of institutions, such as free media and empowered courts that can hold political power in check. In Nigeria, 38 worshippers who were kidnapped from a church service last week were released Sunday. Gunmen had attacked the church on Tuesday, killing at least 2 people and taking captives before fleeing into the forest. Elsewhere in the African country, authorities say 50 of 303 students and staff abducted from a school on Friday have escaped. They fled individually between Friday and Saturday and are now with their families. The students are between 10 and 18 years old. No group has claimed responsibility for the abductions, and Nigerian authorities have not shared any update on rescue efforts. The Pope called for the immediate release of the remaining school children and staff. Ransom payments are often the motivation for these types of kidnappings. We keep telling you that it has been above seasonal average this month, so we asked a question to Environment and Climate Change Canada. What's up with the warm weather? Shannon Moody, a meteorologist with the agency, confirms that Winnipeg is having less snow than usual this time of year. Normally, an Arctic ridge will bring a lot of cold air through the prairies, but so far, according to Moody, Winnipeg hasn't experienced that. So on Sunday, CTV News asked people in Winnipeg what they think about the weather. Thomas Byron was riding an electric unicycle with his friends, and he had this to say.
You know what, given the summer that we just had, I kind of had a feeling we were going to have a little bit more of a slow entry to winter. I feel like we're probably going to get hit with a lot more snow once it finally comes.
We also met Jacob Schwartz, who was born in Winnipeg and now lives in Seattle. He was visiting for the American Thanksgiving, and he said it was warmer than Seattle. The Christmas spirit is in full swing in Portugal. Lisbon welcomed the start of the season with a ceremonial lighting of the city's Christmas tree and decorations Saturday night. A total of more than 1,000 lights and 5,000 decorations are being displayed across the downtown area. The ceremony saw the crowd count down to the illumination of the centerpiece, the 30-meter tall tree, complete with fireworks. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The eastbound lanes of Saskatchewan Avenue will be closed from Empress to St. James Street. The westbound curb lane will be closed on Pacific between Princess and Ellen, and the northbound curb and middle lanes will be closed on Sherbrooke Street from Westminster to Sarah. If you have any other traffic tips to share with us, please text them at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
A beautiful start to your morning as we look now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. All right, as far as temperatures go, we're seasonal as far as daytime highs, or if it were a daytime high. And by that, I'm talking -5, yes. If we're in the middle of the afternoon and we were reaching -5, we'd be like, wow, bang on seasonal, except that it's 6 a.m. and we're sitting at -5, expecting to push up above the freezing mark with some plus digits on tap today. The conditions are clear across the province. We're seeing really nice, mild, and above normal temperatures. Just a few degrees below the freezing mark through southern Manitoba, but even up into northern Manitoba, mid- single digits is as cool as it is to start out. Now, northern Manitoba will deal with some extra clouds throughout the day today, here through central and the southeast, very clear. Southwestern Manitoba, just a few extra clouds, and you can see just running along the Trans-Canada Highway there, a little bit of flurry activity that could be showing up for some folks. As far as the day goes, it is going to be beautiful. Plenty of sunshine. Once that rises at 7:55 this morning. And the warm-up will be pretty slick as well, taking us up to 3 degrees by the time kids are coming home from school, even into the plus digits by lunchtime, although slightly cooler this morning. Throw them with those extra layers on. Throw throw those extra layers on. Don't throw the kids. Anyway, -4 and then a really nice warm up to come. This will be the last of the days in the plus digits. Things will start to cool down, but keeping in mind that -5 is a normal daytime high, it'll be a slow decline to those more seasonal temperatures, and then maybe even a little bit cooler than that as we're looking ahead to the weekend. And honestly, on the other side of that, it could get even cooler yet. So brace yourself for starting to slip back into the cooler weather. We'll see you after this break.
Good morning. A new citizenship law is both being celebrated and criticized. The so-called Lost Canadians legislation will allow Canadians born abroad to pass on their citizenship to their children who were also born outside the country. But critics say that same bill is discriminatory toward adopted children born overseas and will make it harder to get their citizenship. CTV's Kamil Karamali explains.
Little Nathaniel is as much part of the Langtang family as it gets. Born in Zambia, but adopted by Canadian parents from Toronto.
Well, we're a pretty tight unit. Our son is the most important thing that's ever happened to us.
But his mother says new legislation discriminates against her son and other adoptees born abroad because it makes them have to prove they're Canadian.
It's utterly cruel what the government has done to us as a family and to other families like us in Canada. And it's just mean.
The Senate has passed this bill.
Last week, the Senate passed a historic bill called the Lost Canadians legislation. Now a Canadian parent who was not born in Canada can pass down citizenship to a child who was also born abroad. But the parent must show a substantial connection to Canada, which includes spending at least 3 years in the country. The same substantial connection must also be proven by children born outside of Canada and adopted by parents residing in the country. They're called inter-country adoptees. Canadian parents who've adopted children from abroad say the rule is discriminatory because children adopted in Canada don't have to go through the same substantial connection test.
It sort of creates an entire set of barriers for them, for their travel as well. So there are real-life implications for these inter-country adoptees.
Officials say close to 2,000 or more children adopted from abroad could be affected, with the issue potentially prompting a legal challenge.
We are open to dialogue with the government. It seems to me that this particular issue is capable of a narrow legislative fix.
Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada says more details on how this new legislation will be implemented will be revealed in the weeks ahead. The minister and her team will engage with adoption stakeholders on the issues raised during testimony.
We're really hurt.
For this mother, she hopes it's not too late.
What's your message to the federal government now?
My message is to stop bullying my son, to amend this bill immediately.
To try and make her son feel at home here like every Canadian child should. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
SpaceX has sent 28 Starlink satellites into orbit during a launch from California.
4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. Engines full power.
The Falcon 9 booster was initiated from Vandenberg Space Force Base. The aim of the mission was to launch them into orbit. Following stage separation, the first satellite landed on SpaceX's drone ship stationed in the Pacific Ocean. Here's a look at what's happening on Portage Avenue. It looks like things are moving well to start off this Monday morning. We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
A clear start to your Monday morning. It's -5 degrees with a bit of a breeze. 14 clicks out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising. Humidity is sitting at 96%. Well above seasonal as far as the temperatures go, and the conditions will be pretty spectacular. Making way for lots of sunshine today once it rises at 5 to 8. 7:55 is official sunrise time, but with the clearer conditions, we'll see the day glow well in advance of that. Not quite as clear off to the west. You can see a little bit of scattered precipitation. Some flurries moving through parts of southwestern Manitoba, and you can also see the extra clouds up into parts of northern Manitoba. Those two might also come with a little bit of flurry activity. Here in the south, or the southeast at least, where it will be so very sunny. It's also going to be incredibly mild. Actually, it's going to be mild around the entire province, whether you're seeing much sunshine today or not, pushing up into the plus digits to a high of 3 degrees with a northwest wind on the lighter side, 15 kilometers per hour. 3 degrees, keeping us above the freezing mark just for another day. After today, things will start to cool down somewhat, slightly. Somewhat slightly. Anyway, -3 is what we're going to fall off to overnight with the heavier clouds starting to build up. The possibility of some precipitation. Those heavier clouds will be lasting through the day tomorrow, and we likely won't crack the freezing mark. So long to the plus digits, but -5 is a normal daytime high. So even though we may not get above the freezing mark, we're still likely to be above seasonal. The winds, however, will be a little bit stronger yet, at times gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. Temperatures slowly and steadily declining throughout the week. That by the time the weekend rolls around, we're looking to be below seasonal. We will be starting to see a little more sunshine through the latter part of the week, and that's going to last into the weekend itself. So while tomorrow we'll have those heavier clouds and may see some scattered flakes of snow, it will start to look a little bit brighter as those temperatures start to drop.
An inquest into the death of an inmate at Headingley Correctional Centre is moving forward. 45-year-old William Amo died in February of 2021, 7 days after a chaotic confrontation during which he was put into a restraint chair and ultimately suffered cardiac arrest. His death was ruled a homicide, and one corrections officer went on trial charged with criminal negligence causing death and failing to provide the necessities of life. He was found not guilty in September of 2024. An inquest was called in July of this year, 9 months after the criminal case appeal window closed. Before it can begin, however, a judge will determine who can take part in the process. That hearing will be held on December 23rd. After a contentious and bitter 2-year labor dispute, Canada Post and the union representing thousands of postal workers appear to be inching toward a new deal. The two sides have an agreement in principle, and while details still need to be finalized, it's a relief for businesses. But as CTV's Kamil Karamali reports, some say it might be too little, too late.
The holiday rush has arrived at this Toronto store. Owner Christina Kodiatis firing out packages, some through Canada Post, but most through another service.
So how are you planning on shipping out all these items during the holidays?
We use our private courier mostly. Obviously, trust has dropped in consumers, in businesses for Canada Post.
That trust dropped after 2 years of a bitter battle between the Crown Corporation and its employees over a new collective agreement, a battle that led to countrywide strikes, including last holiday season. Friday, both sides announced a tentative deal, one that the union still needs to vote on after the language in the agreement is ironed out.
What they've done is they've said, conceptually, we've agreed on the big picture issues right now, but now we're going to put pen to paper.
If the two sides can't come to an agreement on the language of the deal, then a strike could still happen heading into the busy holiday season.
That's why some Canadians aren't ready to fully put faith back into Canada Post.
I don't really use it for packages too much.
With businesses not willing to take a gamble either on their most profitable time of the year.
Businesses have learned the hard way that Canada Post is increasingly an unreliable provider of delivery services, and so many have made decisions to permanently move away.
Canada Post is in dire straits, reporting the largest quarterly loss in its history this week of well over $500 million. The federal government already announcing sweeping changes, including an end to door-to-door deliveries.
There you go.
Back at the shop, a belief that Canada Post can regain Canadians' trust.
We should absolutely support them to try and revive this company.
Especially if it delivers a deal this holiday season. Kamil Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Hyundai Canada has recalled more than 5,000 vehicles for risk of fuel leak causing a fire. The recall is because of a faulty check valve in the purge system. It increased the risk of a fuel leak. The affected vehicles include the 2020 to 23 Sonata. Owners will be notified by mail to have the check valve inspected. Meanwhile, Kia K5 models between 2021 and 2024 are also being recalled over fuel tank issues. Under a giant rainbow flag, hundreds marched in Rio to mark the 30th anniversary of the LGBTQ2S+ parade. Participants celebrating on the busy Copacabana Beach Promenade. Back in 1995, Rio hosted Brazil's first Pride Parade, opening the way for other cities to give visibility to the community's demands. Holiday cheer rolled up to a restaurant in Winnipeg on Saturday aboard a Heritage Transit bus. The Amalgamated Transit Union Local 1505 hosted its second annual Filibus event, aiming to help families in need. The union partnered with the Christmas Cheer Board to bring hampers for the families. The bus was provided by the Manitoba Transit Heritage Society and was parked outside Four Crowns restaurant on McPhillip Street. Organizers invited Winnipeggers to donate toys, food, or money to support the Christmas Cheer Board.
Our members are in the community every day, seeing people that unfortunately have less, struggling to get by, can't pay the full fare because they got to put food on the table. So we are very committed to helping anybody out. Whether you're trying to get to work, trying to get groceries, or an event such as this that will provide that need that so many people need right now.
Last year's event produced about 100 hampers, and organizers said they are hoping to double that this season. If you missed the event, it's not the end of it. The Christmas Cheer Board says donations are still open in person at 133 Paramount Road or online at christmascheerboard.ca. The Capilano Suspension Bridge in BC is ready for Christmas. Decorations are up for this year's Canyon Lights event at the Suspension Bridge Park. There's a new feature this year. It's called Wild Light. Visitors can get up close to animals, including bears, coyotes, and owls. And it's all safe because the animals are 3D light projections. Here's a look at what's happening now in the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see problems, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.34. The provincial average is lower at $1.28. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.27, and the lowest price in the city is $1.14. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
If you've been seeing a lot of guys walking around with mustaches, there's a reason. It's Movember. Ainsley McPhail's going to tell us more on what that is and what you can do to support it. Stay with us.
Kicking off your Monday morning with clear skies, gorgeous temperatures, these above seasonal values. I mean, this weekend, wow, 10 degrees yesterday, technically 9.8, but we round up. It's not going to be anywhere near that warm today, but still, we will be above seasonal. We already are beginning your day at -5, which would be a normal daytime high, never mind a seasonal low. That we're about 10 degrees above that. There's a bit of a breeze. It's 14 clicks out of the west-northwest with the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 96%. It's dark out here. 7:55 is when the sun will finally begin to rise, although with it being so very clear, we'll see that day glow in advance of that. And then, yes, plenty of sunshine to last throughout the day today, or a mix of sun and cloud. We might see a few clouds building up as the day goes on. Central, southern Manitoba, that's where it'll be a little bit brighter today. For northern Manitoba, some heavier clouds are likely to linger, but even there, temperatures will be above seasonal. Today we're pushing up into the plus digits. It will slowly cool down, though, throughout the rest of this week. Checking in now with Ainsley McPhail. Find out where she's at this morning. Hey, Ainsley.
Good morning. We're at Tommy Guns this morning alongside Jesse Thomas, the Movember ambassador, and you're doing an excellent job, Jesse. Love the stash.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks for having me this morning.
Being the ambassador, you've been doing this for over a decade now. Tell us about what goes into that.
So Movember is the leading men's health charity, focusing on prostate cancer, testicular cancer, men's mental health, and suicide prevention. We spend our month a number of ways raising funds and awareness for those causes. So anybody who's choosing to participate can grow a mustache and start conversations and raise some money that way. You can set yourself a movement goal or a physical fitness goal. Challenge yourself to move based on how many dollars you raise or however you want to do it, and be active while you raise some money and some awareness. You can host an event, which I'm doing later this month, or you can choose to mow your own way, which is just have fun with it and get out there, have conversations, raise money, and change the face of men's health.
Now, with years of doing this, what's the event this year?
So we've had our whiskey tasting already. That's an annual event. So if your ears perked up at that at home, you've already missed it for this year, unfortunately. So be sure to follow us, Movember Winnipeg, on social media for next year. But coming up this Saturday, we have the Stash Bash, which is our annual fundraising concert hosted by Big Heist Brass Band. It's always a super fun night. It's this Saturday at Times Changed. This year, we are super happy to have the Remedies joining us. So it is going to be a really fun night for a really good cause.
A lot of men not going to the doctor when they should. A lot of men not, moving the conversation forward with mental health, keeping isolated. Why is it so important to have these events and start the conversation?
Yeah, so statistically, men's mental health tends to be not good, and just kind of by the nature of things, we tend to keep it to ourselves. So it's important, however you can, to remember to reach out, start conversations, and just be aware of these things. So the mustache is a good reminder. It's not something you see very often anymore. So if you see somebody doing this, or you see a TV ad, or however you manage to hear about it, just reach out to the men in your life, fathers, sons, friends, whatever it is, brothers, and start those conversations, check in on how people are doing. And if you notice something about yourself or about somebody else, just make sure you're getting yourself checked out, make sure that you are doing the things you need to do and taking care of yourself.
Jesse, thank you so much. You look fantastic. I'm loving this mustache, and it's going to be cool to see the other folks coming in this morning. Stay with us for Movember.
Looking at the early markets, the Dow Jones is trading slightly higher. The Nasdaq and S&P index also making positive gains. The loonie is trending lower, sitting around 70.90 cents U.S. The Hang Seng added 496 points. The Nikkei index plunged nearly 1,200 points. Good morning, it is 6:46. This weekend marked the 92nd anniversary since the Holodomor, a man-made famine and genocide that occurred in Ukraine between 1932 and 1933. CTV's Alex Karpa spoke with the descendants of survivors from this terrible tragedy.
My mother got this in 1933.
This coverlet serves as a reminder to Sonia Lebedin about the horrors both her parents endured.
It's very emotional.
Her mother Anna was given this decorative bed covering in the early 30s in the height of the Holodomor, a man-made famine and genocide that occurred in Ukraine between 1932 and 33, resulting in the deaths of millions. Her parents were both survivors and have since passed, leaving this artifact one of her last physical connections to a painful past.
We have to keep it alive. We have to remember what happened, because if we forget what happened, history will repeat itself.
The apples and the bread represent the food that was taken away.
Valentina Noseworthy's parents are also survivors and have both since died.
My mom's wish before she died was that such a terrible thing as the Holodomor wouldn't ever happen to anyone else.
The Ukrainian genocide was an attempt by Joseph Stalin's regime to destroy the Ukrainian nation. But some say over 90 years later, the atrocities of the past are being repeated in Ukraine today.
Every day that Ukraine is attacked, Ukrainian Canadians, think about that, but also in the context of the history that we've come from.
92 years after the Holodomor, very few survivors still remain. That's why Lebedin treasures this coverlet. It's a way for her to keep that history alive. And every November, she lights a candle to honor the victims of the Holodomor, people who she says should never be forgotten. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg's Jamaican community came together to support recovery efforts after Hurricane Melissa devastated parts of Jamaica last month. Jamaica Strong was hosted by the Jamaican Association of Manitoba and the Honorary Consul of Jamaica in Winnipeg. The hurricane made landfall in late October, causing landslides, fallen trees, and widespread power outages. The fundraiser aimed to help families rebuild after the disaster. The event featured Caribbean cuisine, live performances, and support from local organizations.
Some locations in Jamaica don't have electricity, still don't have internet, are having access problems to food and water. So I think the fact that we can do something like this to bring everybody together to make sure that we're helping those who we can is really important. I think that's what Winnipeg is really known for, giving back and coming together as a community.
Nadia Thompson added they are only accepting monetary donations due to shipping issues. Contributions can still be made through the Jamaican Association of Manitoba's website. There's a recall to let you know about this morning on drinkable yogurt. Many of Yoplay's yogurts are being pulled over fears of pieces of plastic in some products. Yoplait Canada says it's proactively issuing the recall after discovering a defect in a packaging component. The recall includes all flavors of the 200 milliliter Yop drinkable yogurts with best before dates from October 21st to January the 12th. There was a giant Christmas tree sale in Pennsylvania this week. About 50,000 trees and a huge array of other seasonal items were bought and sold at an auction in Mifflinburg. Buyers from across the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic were there to supply garden stores and other retail outlets. A trade group says more than 21 million farm-grown Christmas trees were sold in 2023 with median price of $75. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The eastbound lanes of Saskatchewan Avenue will be closed from Empress to St. James Street. The westbound curb lane will be closed on Pacific between Princess and Ellen. And the northbound curb and middle lanes will be closed on Sherbrooke Street from Westminster to Sarah. If you have any other traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us, please, at 10400.
-5 is where we're sitting right now, which is a normal daytime high. We've got clear conditions to kick off your morning and just a light breeze out of the west-northwest, 14 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 96%. Those clear conditions will set us up for plenty of sunshine after 8 o'clock. Of course, 7:55 is when it finally begins to rise, although we will start to see the day glow in advance of that. You can see the heavier clouds across northern Manitoba and a few down in that southwest as well. Much of central, southeastern Manitoba and parts of northwestern Ontario already quite clear. It doesn't mean it's going to be completely cloudy. There might be some parts in the northern part of Manitoba that see a little bit of sunshine, but there's also going to be some places that see a little bit of flurry activity up around Churchill, talking about you. But look at these daytime highs, just a few degrees below the freezing mark when normal daytime highs would be in the minus double digits this morning. Here's where you might see a little more of that sunshine through parts of the northwest today. And again, just a few to 4 degrees below the freezing mark today, whereas southern Manitoba and central Manitoba is likely to move up into the plus digits, cracking the freezing mark and low plus digits, but still above what you would expect this time of year. I mean, yesterday we were in the double digits, and that won't be the case today, but warmer than you would expect, certainly, and beautiful and bright with plenty of sunshine over us. And the winds will just be light to moderate as well. Further to the east of us, you can expect those clear conditions throughout northwestern Ontario, up to 7 degrees expected in the Fort Frances area. Now, as we continue through the rest of the week, we'll see heavier clouds building up through the day, overnight actually, and continuing through the day tomorrow. And then B, we're going to see these temperatures starting to slide a little bit. And in fact, by the time the weekend rolls around, we might be talking about below seasonal temperatures. After being above it for a stretch of days, things will start to cool down a little bit.
Thank you, Terry. Let's check in now on the team at 103.1 Virgin Radio. Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Good morning.
Well, you?
Chrissy's changing batteries.
Okay.
She was all ready, and then their batteries quit, and who knows. Anyway, I was hoping to drop breaking news on you this morning, because for some reason in my head, I thought the humbug sign would be lit this morning, and I could announce that with great fanfare. It is not.
Okay.
So breaking news will have to be delayed. We also learned last week winter in Winnipeg is about to get more fun, because we see that the mayor of Winnipeg, Scott Gillingham, is having this plow naming contest for kids, which is the best. So we have the City of Winnipeg snow plows, and kids are allowed to come up with suggestions for names for these snow plows, which is awesome. We encourage you all strongly, if your kid is like, I don't know, I don't have one, or I don't want to submit a name for a new City of Winnipeg snowplow, I say make them do it and make them send in Dale Plowerchuck. We want to live in a city where we have a snowplow driving around named Dale Plowerchuck. Also, that has been cleared by his family. They love it. And then so the other night, we're at the Winnipeg Jets Gala. And so I bring this up, this Dale Plowerchuck, and then I get a late night text. The text thread is Mayor Gillingham and Mark Chipman, and the suggestion was, what was it again?
Captain Adam Plowry.
I mean,
brilliant.
It's
That's
so
great.
much fun. And then also, I got screenshots yet. Did you see that?
I did, yeah, and we got it. Also, it was texted in, so 99999. But Ice Burpee is apparently in the running.
Apparently in the running, and then there's also a naming contest. You know those mini little snowplows that do the sidewalks?
Yes.
Adorable.
Yeah.
By the way, that team needs a name. What was your?
I was pulling for Plower Rangers.
Oh,
okay.
I love
this
that.
is so much fun.
It is. All right. Well, thanks for those suggestions. People can start voting as soon as possible. Thanks, you guys.
Have a great week.
You too. Well, Black Friday is right around the corner, and you may have noticed many stores already have big discounts. Well, ahead of the American holiday and biggest shopping day of the year. CTV's Jack Richardson explains.
Christmas is about a month away, and some shoppers are getting the ball rolling.
We just want to check out for some deals before Christmas.
I've done a bit, not very much.
Same here, like not much at all.
Just looking now, definitely waiting till Black Friday for all the sales.
Black Friday is traditionally held on the Friday of American Thanksgiving, when retail companies offer massive discounts. But lately, stores have started offering these sales well in advance.
I feel like companies don't even do like Black Friday just on the Friday anymore. Like, I've been getting emails for the last 2 weeks about things going on sale.
Companies are adapting to consumer habits. According to a survey conducted by the Retail Council of Canada, more shoppers are relying on Black Friday deals for their holiday shopping than usual.
Almost half the people answering the poll said that they are waiting for the Black Friday to start the holiday shopping. So this is more important than ever, and it's an increasing tendency that we've seen over the years.
84% also said Black Friday was the most important time of year to shop. The Retail Council cites economic uncertainty as one reason why, which puts pressure on retailers to meet those expectations by extending the sale period.
They are looking more and more for discount and sales to start with. So that's why maybe the Black Friday is so important now.
In some cases, shoppers are even making an annual trip to North America to take advantage of Black Friday sales for their Christmas shopping.
Every year we are at Canada at this time.
This couple is from Germany.
We love roots.
Yeah,
so
roots,
we don't have this in Germany, and they have wonderful prices at this time of the year because of Black Friday.
Others are just happy to see lower prices.
It works out for me, for my broke student lifestyle.
Jack Richardson, CTV News.
Okay, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. It's Monday, November 24th. Today, Seven Oaks water break. A water main failure shuts down service and disrupts hospital operations. Plus, Chinatown housing push. Work begins on a 54-unit affordable building on King Street. And brushing back time, an 80-year-old Winnipegger returns to painting and unleashes a surge of new art. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 7 o'clock on your Monday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley McPhail's telling us all about Movember this morning, and coming up at about 7:27, she's going to tell us about the Men's Health Clinic and what you need to know if you're looking for some services in terms of health, your mental health, your physical health. She's going to have it covered for you. But the weather, if you want,
and if you're looking for some like grooming tips on your mustache,
yes, you have the tips.
I have the tips for you. No, she's giving us some of those as well.
Yes,
I think.
How to trim it just right.
I trimmed mine up nicely before I came into work this morning. If you catch it in certain lights, though, you'll be like, no, you didn't do that good of a job.
Well, you might need a mustache to stay warm today.
Well, that's just it. I mean, maybe not today, but certainly by the end of the week or the weekend, we're going to get a big change up weather-wise, and you'll be glad that you got that stash growing, a little something to keep you warm and toasty. -5 is where we're sitting right now. City is looking gorgeous. Winds are light out of the west-northwest, 14 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 96%. The way the light glows this time of year really is looking quite stunning. Sun will be up at 7:55 this morning. In advance of that, we're already starting to see slightly brighter conditions, and that's because it is so clear. through central and southeastern Manitoba anyway, and even in areas off to the east of us. Southwestern Manitoba is seeing a few extra clouds first thing this morning, but also a few extra clouds across parts of northern Manitoba. And there might be a little bit of scattered precipitation tucked in there as well, especially up in the far northeastern part of the province. We'll enjoy that sunshine through the day today. No matter where you are getting the sunshine or the heavier clouds, temperatures are expected to be well above seasonal. Not quite as incredible as yesterday was when we were up to 10 degrees. It will be still in the plus digits all through central and southern Manitoba, but even northern Manitoba, just a few degrees below the freezing mark today, well above seasonal. Heavier clouds are going to start to move in, though, overnight and tomorrow. Expect mainly cloudy conditions. There could even be a few scattered flakes of snow. Temperatures tomorrow aren't likely to crack the freezing mark, and then it only continues to cool down throughout the rest of this week. Now, while tomorrow is going to be the cloudy day, we will start to see a little more sunshine and increasing amounts of sun as we move toward the latter part of the week. But also watching these temperatures slowly and steadily decline. By the time the weekend rolls around, we're going to be talking about below seasonal temperatures when -5 is normal.
A water main break over the weekend is affecting operations at Winnipeg's Seven Oaks Hospital. The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority says flooding was discovered in a lower level of the hospital around 10 Saturday night. It later led to the discovery of a water main break, requiring a full water shutdown in the hospital. The WRHA says work is being done now to correct the break and to secure a temporary water supply for the hospital. Any patients scheduled for appointments or services impacted by this issue will be contacted directly. As well, any Seven Oaks Hospital dialysis patients with questions about their upcoming appointments can call 204-795-3735. A Winnipeg man says he was not being properly treated at a local hospital, so he left and he went to a different one, all while having a heart attack. CTV's Alex Carpa has a story and a warning from doctors that this sort of thing is happening more often.
This is what my heart looked like.
Heymana Romana was experiencing terrible chest pain on July 10th, 2022.
I can't describe it. You're sweating. Your hands, you can feel yourself drifting off because of the pain so severe.
He went to Winnipeg's Health Sciences Centre where he was triaged and told to wait in the emergency room. But after 2 hours, his pain kept getting worse, and he says no one came to help him.
You're sitting there thinking, I'm going to die.
He realized he couldn't wait any longer and left to get help elsewhere. Within 15 minutes of arriving at another hospital, doctors told him he was having a STEMI heart attack, a blockage in a coronary artery, and needed immediate treatment.
The surgeons and the doctors down at St. Boniface Hospital saved my life.
Shared Health, which runs Manitoba's largest hospital, says patients get scored based on their symptoms when they arrive in the ER. This score determines how often they should be reassessed. Romana says he required checks every 15 minutes, but claims that did not happen.
This is becoming more and more of an issue.
In an ideal situation, cardiologists advise a patient with a STEMI should have their artery opened up within 90 minutes.
People can misdiagnose these, people can make mistakes, these sorts of things happen, but a STEMI is really one of the, small number of situations where that person should be taken to the angiography theater immediately.
Romana has had a tough couple of years. He says his heart now only pumps between 35 to 40%, which has put him in heart failure.
Once upon a time, I could, ride my bike 20K, run 5K. I can't do anything that.
He has since filed several complaints against the hospital and hopes his story will shed light on ongoing issues in the ER. Alex Carper, CTV News, Winnipeg.
If you're passing through Chinatown in Winnipeg this week, you might notice some construction firing up.
There we go.
On Saturday, the federal government announced $20 million in combined funding to build a 7-story apartment building on the former Shanghai restaurant site at 232 King Street. It will have 54 affordable units. Principal architect Ray Wan said they started their preparations in April and permits were ready by August. He added that people will start seeing a lot of activity this week.
Assuming all weather, no weather factors or delivery logistical issue, ideally 18 months. I personally think 18 to 20 months is reasonable. We're all ready. The shop drawings are all coming through, is all being answered. So I'm looking for a very exciting accelerated project.
The funding includes $14.3 million from Ottawa, $3.7 million from the province, and $2 million from the city's Housing Accelerator Fund agreement. One of the most wanted fugitives in Canada has been arrested in Toronto. Nicholas Singh, seen here, had been wanted by the Ontario Provincial Police's repeat offender parole enforcement since May of 2024. He was serving a nearly 5.5-year sentence for robbery and firearm-related charges when he went on the run. Toronto police arrested the 24-year-old Friday night. He's been charged with 6 firearms-related offenses. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he's in no rush to resume trade talks after they were halted over anti-tariff ads last month.
He accepted the apology when I spoke to him, and we've had discussions. I've been busy. There's another point, though. I've been busy. We passed a budget with that's going to catalyze $1 trillion of investment.
Carney says he and U.S. President Donald Trump have been busy, but that talks will resume when appropriate. The Prime Minister says he expects to speak with Trump sometime in the next 2 weeks, but is ready for when the Americans want to return to the table. Carney made the remarks when speaking with reporters in Johannesburg for the G20 Leaders Summit, which Trump did not attend. Skiing can get expensive, but there are ways to find savings. The Canadian Ski Council has some tips to help keep costs down. First, the equipment. There's always the option to trade in or buy used. Some stores offer a full season lease. As for lift tickets, operators are doing what they can to keep a one-day pass affordable. But for committed skiers, a season's pass really does offer the best bang for the buck. Here's a look at what's happening now on Kenaston and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like things have picked up here, as you can see. But overall, there appears to be no issues in the drive this morning. If you see any problems out there, please let us know.
It will be interesting to see what happens on the markets in the coming days with a short week south of the border. American Thanksgiving is on Thursday. There was a ton of volatility last week. Both the TSX and U.S. markets did close higher Friday. The head of the U.S. Federal Reserve says he's looking at another possible rate cut in December. Prime Minister Mark Carney is back in the country after looking for more trade partners. Carney announced Sunday that the federal government and South Africa agreed to launch discussions for an investment protection pact. And Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Canada will also get into full negotiations with India for a comprehensive trade deal. And a new survey has found that artificial intelligence will likely become another helper for Santa this holiday season. A survey commissioned by Shopify polled 18,000 consumers and 7,500 business leaders and found that 64% will use AI for at least one shopping task. People aged 18 to 24 years old, a whopping 84% will make use of that technology. Those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Matt Scooby.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who is sporting a Movember of herself. Good morning. You're at Tommy Gunn's. It looks great on you. It suits you.
Well, I thought today, Rochelle, is just what I need to draw more attention to my upper lip.
Yes.
You guys already know that I'm Italian, so this is not the best for that. But you know what? It's not about me. It's about men's health. I can't bury the lead right now. Movember here at Tommy Gunn's, a place that's raised over $400,000 for men's health since starting this. And if you actually spend $2 or more, you can get a little mustache like the one I was just sporting on the wall here at Tommy Gunn's. We are going to be chatting with Dr. Jay Nyack coming up at 7:27 with the Men's Health Clinic here in Manitoba. Does so much to support men's health. We're also chatting with a male comedian who is Big Daddy Taz, talking about his mental health journey. We also are going to be telling you about how Movember really works, too, because you can mow your own way. You don't actually have to put the mustache on yourself. So if you're a wife or a mother or a girlfriend or a cousin, you can raise money, too. Stay with us throughout the morning.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Today is going to be a beautiful day, and get out while you can.
Yeah, it really is going to be spectacular, although I will say, it's not going to be a shock as we continue on through this week. It's just going to be an adjustment. Let's use that term instead, as we're going to start to see a return eventually to the more seasonal temperatures, which have been eluding us so far this entire start of, or end of fall, I guess. We're still well above seasonal, not quite as spectacular as yesterday. That was a double-digit day, and today won't be that, but it will still be beautiful and sunny as we're waking up to clear conditions this morning. It's -4 right now with 14K winds out of the west-northwest. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 96%. So we will still see that sunshine again. The temperatures just won't be climbing quite as high as yesterday, but still likely to crack the freezing mark and push up into the plus digits all across central and southern southern Manitoba. And then for northern Manitoba, you may not crack the freezing mark, but you will be above seasonal. Many places through northern Manitoba this time of year would be in the minus double digits. And instead, you're looking at some high temperatures that will have you just a few or 4 degrees below the freezing mark. But heavier clouds expected across northern Manitoba, and we'll see those clouds moving in overnight and through tomorrow. But today, enjoy the sunshine. Keep those sunglasses handy. Like I mentioned, plus digits on the way today, but then everything will start to cool down. Now, -5, that would be a normal daytime high. So as we continue on through the week, we're going to get back to those numbers, and by the time the weekend rolls around, could be colder than that.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful, helping your home get holiday ready with blinds from Hunter Douglas.
Thank you, Terry. It's time now for a question of the day. It's Celebrate Your Unique Talent Day. Do you have a unique talent? If you do, you can text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing. We want to see even more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca. And then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back right after this.
We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
Good morning. The Manitoba Nurses Union has voted to grey list a second hospital in the province due to unsafe working conditions. About 97% of nurses voted Friday in favor of the measure at Thompson General Hospital in northern Manitoba after a shooting in its chapel this year. Grey listing is a move nurses can take to discourage others from taking jobs at a hospital they deem unsafe. Earlier this summer, nurses voted to grey list Winnipeg's Health Sciences Centre after a string of sexual assaults outside the hospital and one assault inside. The federal government is giving 2 Manitoba companies a multi-million-dollar loan to improve access to health care.
Manitoba made innovations travel far beyond our borders to communities across Canada and around the world. It takes courage, vision, and the right support at the right time.
That's why MP Doug Aolfson says the local companies will get $2.9 million in what the federal government is calling a repayable investment. Move Mobility, a specialized medical vehicle manufacturer, is getting $1.1 million to increase manufacturing capacity, which will include new ambulances. QDoc Incorporated, a Manitoba-based virtual healthcare company, is getting $1.9 million to expand its platform and develop its digital technology. The government says this spending is expected to create 35 jobs. Top U.S. and Ukrainian officials say they're making progress toward ending the Russia-Ukraine war.
So we're working through making some changes, some adjustments, in the hopes of furthering narrowing the differences and getting closer to something that both Ukraine and obviously the United States are very comfortable with.
Delegations from both sides met in Switzerland to talk about a 28-point peace plan. Some European allies had feared the deal was too favorable to Moscow, which is something Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has echoed. He says Ukraine is working closely with the U.S. and other European partners to define the steps toward ending the war, but that there are still issues to work out.
These are important steps, but to achieve real peace, more is needed. And it is crucial to support the principles on which Europe stands, that borders cannot be changed by force.
Zelensky could visit the U.S. this week as part of President Donald Trump's push to reach a deal on the peace plan by Thanksgiving. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along Pembina Highway. Things have picked up over here, as you can see. We have no issues to tell you about. It's just that a lot of people are coming into work at the same time. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know. Time now for some entertainment. Chadwick Boseman has been posthumously honored with a Hollywood star. Friends and family gathered to honor the Black Panther actor. Boseman's widow, Simone, placed a pair of his shoes on his newly minted star so that he could step on the memorial alongside his family. Boseman died in 2020 at the age of 43 after a private battle with colon cancer. Wicked for Good is conjuring up magic at the box office, earning more than its predecessor in its debut.
What have you done to me?
Studio estimates say the new movie earned $150 million in its first days in North American theaters and $226 million globally. The conclusion to the story is now the biggest opening ever for a Broadway musical adaptation and the second biggest debut of the year. Now You See Me, Now You Don't was second at the box office this weekend, followed by Predator, Badlands. Knowing someone's backstory is always helpful, especially in this situation.
Welcome, Panem, to the glorious reaping of District 12.
This is the trailer for Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. It explores Panem 24 years before Katniss. The trailer gives fans a glimpse into the origin of Haymitch, a character that had previously been played by Woody Harrelson. Elle Fanning, Kieran Culkin, and Glenn Close are just some of the big stars appearing in this movie. It's out next November. Your primetime lineup kicks off with St. Denis Medical at 7. At 7:30, there's more wry comedy on Stumble. The Voice starts at 8, and The Weakest Link is on at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
So Terry, on Saturday, my family, we put up our Christmas tree. It's a pre-lit Christmas tree that we've owned for 15 years. We plug it in. No lights are working.
Oh,
we had to cut down all of the lights and then go to town and buy new lights so that we can finish decorating our tree. But now it looks spectacular. It looks great. But
okay.
What a process. It took
well, and now
hours.
that those lights are gone, it'll be a lot easier. I mean, you'll have to go through the process of stringing your lights, but you check that string first and save yourself all of the extra work now in the years ahead.
15 years, it did pretty well, though, considering.
Very nice. All right, for those of you that have been thinking about getting at your holiday decorating, if you didn't get your outdoor lights strung this weekend, what were you doing? It was the perfect day or conditions for it. Still another beautiful day if you want to get at it this afternoon. We're looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. What you don't want to do is wait until next weekend and then you're out there trying to have your gloves off and your hands are freezing, because next weekend temperatures could be below seasonal. Big change-ups are coming throughout this week, although today will still be beautiful. We're already well above seasonal. In fact, we're already at what would be a normal daytime high at -5. We're now -4 on this particular map as it updates in real time. -5 is in fact that normal daytime high, and most of us are above it this morning as we're looking throughout the entire province, including northern Manitoba, just a fistful of degrees below the freezing mark. And while northern Manitoba might stay below freezing today with some extra clouds, normal daytime highs would be in the minus double digits, so you're already doing okay and will still make some gains. Here through central and southern Manitoba, not only will the temperatures be pleasant, the conditions will be as well. Expecting very clear conditions or plenty of sunshine as we continue on through the day. -4 as kids are getting settled into the classroom, +1 by lunchtime, and stacking another couple on top of that. 3 degrees are expected high for this afternoon with the sunshine throughout the day today. Now some heavier clouds move in overnight. They'll stick around for tomorrow, and then we will watch these temperatures slowly sliding beyond the seasonal -5, and I mentioned it will be getting a little bit cooler as we're looking ahead to the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. A bold suggestion from Canada's top military strategists who want to create a volunteer force to help defend the country from both man-made and natural disasters. CTV's Judy Trin takes a look at what that kind of defense corps could look like.
Facing rising threats from climate change and competing states, testing Canada's sovereignty, military strategists want the federal government to create a volunteer defense corps made up of 300,000 citizens.
When we're thinking about the number of events and domestic operations we've had in terms of fighting forest fires and so on, so this is all part of our transformation effort, and all Canadians will be, of course, voluntarily invited to serve.
The document, drafted by the Strategic Joint Staff, says the force would have less restrictive age limits and lower physical standards and fitness requirements. The plan hasn't been approved by the government, but the Defense Minister supports the idea.
The notion of having a civil force or civil group of Canadians who are ready, willing, and able to serve their country
is something that has been talked about for years in Canada. It's something that our allies are doing and pursuing very, very actively.
In countries like Sweden and Finland, hundreds of thousands of citizens are trained to operate bomb shelters and respond to natural disasters. Under Canada's plan, the volunteers would get 5 days of training each year to learn how to shoot a gun, drive a truck, and operate a drone. They would not be paid.
It's no surprise that the Department of National Defence and Canadian Armed Forces would look to many sources to recruit people from, including people who are already dedicated to public service. They may be federal, they may be provincial, they may be municipal, they may be in business, they may be in the banking sector, they may be on Bay Street.
But the number of volunteer recruits may be too ambitious when the Canadian military is still dealing with a shortage of 15,000 soldiers. McGuinty says he's confident the $82 billion the federal government earmarked for defense in this year's budget will lead to more interest in the military and more recruits. Judy Trin, CTV News, Toronto.
Zambonis in Kitchener have gone electric.
The old machines are very loud, so you can't really hear what's going on with the machine and the way it's acting. With this, you can hear everything.
There are now 5 electric Zambonis resurfacing ranks throughout the city. They're made in Canada, quieter than the older Zambonis, and there are less worries about fumes. The city is now asking for help to name the Zambonis. Coming up, we're live at Tommy Guns this morning. We're talking about Movember. Stay with us for more. Movember is about raising awareness about men's health issues. Ainsley McPhail is live at Tommy Guns this morning. Hi, Ainsley.
Good morning. It is Movember. Dr. Jay Nyack joins me right now to tell us all about the amazing things that the Men's Health Clinic is doing here in our community. And Doctor, when we talk about the demand, you guys are certainly seeing it.
Oh, absolutely. We've been open since 2022, and I was just mentioning earlier, we've had about 100,000 patient visits, and it just goes to show that there's a huge need for that service in the province.
And when it comes to that, this is super broad, so it's even challenging for me to ask you this question. Tell us about the landscape of men's health in Manitoba.
Oh, that is a very broad question. But, you know, I think in the clinic, we see everything from infertility to prostate cancer. And with prostate cancer, everything from early detection to treatment for patients later on in the life cycle of prostate cancer, meaning later in the disease history. So we see it all. And all of these issues are so common. I think with the clinic being open, it's really created a safe space for men to come with these questions and these issues, because prevention and early detection is key.
And what are some of those early signs?
Well, it depends on what we're talking about, but with prostate cancer, which is very common, 1 in 8 Canadian men are going to be affected in their lifetime. Sometimes it could be as simple as peeing issues, and that's a pretty common thing that men experience as they get older anyways. So how do you differentiate between prostate cancer and just normal, non-concerning peeing issues? And that involves a checkup with your doctor, a blood test or a finger check, for example.
And when it comes to pushing people to go to the doctor, not everyone does it right away. So what would you say about that, and even just continuing to spark the conversation?
Well, and this has been great about Movember. It's about having that conversation. It's about acknowledging that it's okay to take care of your health. But as it pertains to that particular issue with men not going to the doctor, I think the message to men is avoidance isn't going to make the problem go away. Sometimes it can be as simple as just having a conversation, and early detection, as I say, is critical.
When it comes to Movember and people either donating or people even chatting about mental health, why is that so important to you guys?
Oh, it's just so critical, because a lot of times it's just easy to address if you have the conversation early. So book an appointment with your doctor and spark the conversation.
We'll put it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ainsley. And if you want to enjoy the weather, this is the day to do it. Enjoy it while you can.
Well, yesterday was really the day to do it.
Amazing.
Oh my goodness,
gorgeous.
Double digits, late November. It just blows my mind, honestly. But things will all start to take a little bit of a turn throughout this week, and we're going to get back to what is normal for this time of year, although it will take a couple of days. Today will still be gorgeous and mild and sunny. You can see that glow happening off to the east right now. It's -4 with a 14K wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 96%. So yes, quite clear through central, southeastern Manitoba, parts of northwestern Ontario, Ontario as well. We do have a few extra clouds here through the southwest. You can see there's a little bit of scattered snow in there as well. And parts of northern Manitoba may also deal with a few extra clouds hanging around today. Maybe some scattered precipitation. Here in the southeast, more specifically Winnipeg, 3 degrees. That's what we're looking at for a high. Winds, they'll be on the lighter or moderate side, 15 clicks out of the northwest. Plenty of sunshine expected for today, but those clouds begin to build up overnight. We'll drop down to -3. With those clouds come the possibility of precipitation, slim chance, but we could see a few flakes of snow. And then those heavier clouds are likely to linger for tomorrow. And while it still will be above seasonal, -5 normal for this time of year, we're not likely to crack the freezing mark. So our high for tomorrow is at about -2. From there, it slowly, steadily starts to drop off with those temperatures. And I mentioned -5 being a seasonal daytime high. Well, by the time the weekend rolls around, while we will get back to the sunshine, we're going to get to colder than normal temperatures as we settle into the weekend and continue into next week.
An inquest into the death of an inmate at Headingley Correctional Centre is moving forward. 45-year-old William Amo died in February of 2021, 7 days after a chaotic confrontation during which he was put into a restraint chair and ultimately suffered cardiac arrest. His death was ruled a homicide, and one corrections officer went on trial charged with criminal negligence causing death and failing to provide the necessities of life. He was found not guilty in September of 2024. An inquest was called in July of this year, 9 months after the criminal case appeal window closed. Before it can begin, however, a judge will determine who can take part in the process. That hearing will be held on December 23rd. Police and fire officials are expected to provide more details today on a deadly fire in Brampton, Ontario that left a community in shock.
It's really sad. I mean, seeing such things in short time, especially when you are living in the neighborhood.
I don't know what really happened in there, and for anybody to jump out a window and people running around, running away, and just nothing makes sense here.
We're now learning from a family member who was not home at the time that 5 people, including his unborn baby, lost their lives in the fire. Police have officially confirmed the deaths of 3 people, while 2 remain unaccounted for. 4 people remain in hospital with critical injuries. There's been no word yet on what caused the fire. Conservation officials in BC are boosting their efforts to track down a mother bear and 2 cubs just days after a group of elementary school students and teachers were attacked.
The teacher that was helped the kids, he was so brave, he jumped on top of the bear and fought it with his bare hands.
Traps, snares, and trail cameras are being set up around the Bella Coola area, about 420 kilometers north of Vancouver, after the attack Thursday. 3 students and a teacher were taken to hospital after a bear attacked a group of about 20 people, including grade 4 and 5 students. There's also reports the bear that attacked the group may have been injured previously and could be in severe pain, making it more aggressive than usual. No decisions have been made on what to do with the bears if they're found. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is putting on another show. The world's most active volcano has erupted dozens of times over the last year. Experts believe the episodes are all part of this same eruption because magma is following the same pathway to the surface. Lava from the south vent of the summit crater has shot 400 meters into the air. It has remained contained on the crater and isn't threatening residential areas. Alberta has a brand new selfie spot. This is the new and safer spot for the classic Banff sign. It had been a popular spot to take pictures at Banff National Park, but because of safety concerns and traffic jams, it was relocated in front of the historic Banff train station with Mount Norquay in the background. It's just 600 meters from the original site and now sits next to a free parking lot and away from the busy roadway. The Winnipeg Jets were at home Sunday playing host to the visiting Minnesota Wild. And the Jets had some decent chances, like this sequence at about the 17-minute mark, getting a couple of shots on net. But Wild goaltender Jesper Wallstedt was unbeatable in this one. The Wild ended up shutting out the Jets 3-0. Eric Comrie stopped 26 shots in the Winnipeg net. The loss spoiled the 900th career NHL game for Jets assistant captain Mark Scheifele. Winnipeg's next sees action again on the road in Washington Wednesday. Puck drop in that one is 6 p.m. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The eastbound lanes of Saskatchewan Avenue will be closed from Empress to St. James Street. The westbound curb lane will be closed on Pacific between Princess and Ellen. And the northbound curb and middle lanes will be closed on Sherbrooke Street from Westminster to Sarah. If you have any traffic tips, please share them with us. And here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.48, while the provincial average is lower at $1.24. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.23. The lowest price in Winnipeg, $1.12. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Right now, we are sitting at -4, but the wind chill feels like -10. More Your Morning Winnipeg after this break.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
It's a gorgeous start to your Monday morning. Clear sky, mild temperatures, -4 is where we're sitting right now with winds out of the west-northwest, 14 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 96%. Just minutes away from sunrise now, 7:55, so about 15 minutes to go, but it's already looking gorgeous and clear. Central, southeastern Manitoba, that's certainly the case for us, even parts of northwestern Ontario. We've been keeping an eye on a few clouds and a few scattered flurries through the southwest, but also the heavier clouds across parts of northern Manitoba could also come with a little bit of scattered precipitation up around Churchill. That could certainly be the case for you. But taking a look at these temperatures, minus double digits would be normal daytime highs through much of northeastern Manitoba. And instead, you're likely to be just a fistful of degrees below the freezing mark. Around -8, -9, those are average temperatures in places like Flin Flon and the Pas. You might not only get above seasonal, but enjoy a little bit of sunshine too, with slightly clearer conditions than most of northern Manitoba, and then through the rest of central and southern Manitoba, yes, mainly sunny or a mix of sun and cloud. Here in the very southwest, we were looking at it on the satellite image, heavier clouds, and I mentioned that possibility of a few scattered flakes of snow, but a little bit brighter here through the southeastern part of the province, and it will be another day where we're cracking the freezing mark. Now, yesterday it was double digits, and that won't be the case today by any means, but still well above seasonal. Normal daytime highs -5. So to be anywhere in the plus digits, that's a pretty nice place to be this time of year, but we're pretty much seeing an end of those really nice temperatures. Slowly and steadily, mercury will start to slide throughout this week and getting back to seasonal or even below seasonal once we're looking ahead to the coming weekend, even though there will be a lot more sunshine after some clouds tomorrow.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Tommy Guns this morning. They're very much involved with Movember and have been for years there. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. And if you come into Tommy Guns and you get a cut, you will be supporting men's health. And if you spend $2 or more, you can put one of these stashes on the wall. Arlene Warehoff joins us now to tell us all about the initiative that you've been doing for so many years now. How much have you raised?
Just over $400,000, and we still got a couple of weeks to go. So come on down and support men's mental health and prostate cancer at Tommy Gunn's Original Barbershop.
Why is it so important to you to give back?
Well, I think it's important with the TG Nation that we all give back to our men, and it's the health in our men that's so important. So by shaving, we donate a portion of the shave, and we also have these mustaches that we donate for Movember.
And the various stages of facial hair, you know, every man, it's a new journey, a different journey. We're nearing the end of the month, so what should they be doing at this point?
Well, now it's time to come in and get some mustache wax and control those mustache handlebars that are getting out of control.
And there's different ways you can do that.
Absolutely. So we have a few different mustache wax for you to choose from. So if you come in, we will show you how to use that.
What's going on now? Because it looks like a full-blown pampering.
Yes, absolutely. So we have a facial going on. We have beard grooming going on over here with Ryan and Brooke. And then we have another beard grooming going on behind us, and some beard trimming, and also going to show these gentlemen how to use their mustache, how to use the product for their mustache.
And when it comes to style, everybody's got their own preference. What are some that you would recommend?
Well, we have the daytime style, which is just going to be down. And then we have the handlebar style, which is night out on the town.
Would you wax mine?
Oh, absolutely. We can do it together.
That's awesome. Oh, and what was it called again? The cut. I love
Cuts for Nuts, a Movember.
Where's our poster? Oh, I had the poster. That's okay. Now you know. Now you know. Cuts for Nuts. How cheeky is that? All right. Stay with us throughout the morning. We're going to continue chatting about it.
Thank you, Ainsley. As the old saying goes, it's never too late, and a Winnipeg artist is living proof of that. He has extraordinary talent as a painter, but life happened, and decades passed by without him ever picking up a brush. Now, as CTV's John Hendricks shows you, the senior has his brushes back and is making up for lost time.
Chris Greaves has something cooking in his kitchen, but it has nothing to do with food. It's a painting he's working on.
I'm thinking about not letting the paints intermix too much.
When complete, this watercolor will be added to the growing collection of stunning artwork he's completed lately.
I've already run out of room. I got more pictures than I got space for them.
And what makes that all the more remarkable is the speed in which he's made these paintings. The vast majority painted in the last year, even though the 80-year-old says he showed promise as an artist back in elementary school.
I got the art prize. My name's on the board. still there, even though it's been 70 years.
But when he grew up and had a family to raise, art took a back seat, sometimes going decades between paintings, although he had other creative outlets. Greaves has built about 60 ukuleles over the years, and he spent free time building model airplanes, furniture, and even boats. And perhaps his painting would have never flown back into the forefront of his life had it not been for Tai Chi.
My wife goes to Tai Chi every Tuesday, and she noticed that they have, on the same day, they have a watercolor class. And she mentioned it to me, and so I signed up.
They're called the Silver Brushes, and each week, Greaves works on new watercolors in class and back at home in his kitchen. And after years of keeping his paint dry, his artistic output is exploding.
I really get a kick out of it. I got them on the wall, and that's one of the reasons I don't want to sell them, is because I like to look at them.
John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 15th birthday, Sierra. Love your friends and family. Happy 74th birthday, Grace, from your friends at Camp Morton Church, the gang at North 40 Ranch, and Buddy. And a very happy 41st anniversary to Marcia and Michael, with love from your family and friends. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
Here's a look at the drive now along Portage Avenue. Things are moving well here. We'll be back after this short break.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
So beautiful out here this morning, and we've got another day where we're headed up into the plus digits. Now, -5 is a normal daytime high, but we're expecting to get up to 3 degrees, +3 today. Last year, we got up to -2.5, so it was still above seasonal. 2011, 9.7 degrees. And in fact, yesterday we got up to 9.8 degrees. So if it was this time, that would have been a record breaker. So yeah, talk about a mild day. It is gorgeous. It is clear, sun shining over us. Well, in 5 minutes time at 7:55 this morning. So just a couple minutes to go, maybe not a full 5. But anyway, it is going to be beautiful today. -4 is where we're sitting with a 14K wind out of the west-northwest. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 96%. A blue sky, or at least a mix of sun and cloud. That's what you can expect throughout the day today for southeastern Manitoba and pretty much all of southern Manitoba or central Manitoba. Southwestern Manitoba might be seeing a few extra clouds, as is northern Manitoba seeing a few extra clouds today. But even if you're not going to be seeing as much sunshine, you can still expect temperatures to be well above seasonal, just a few degrees below the freezing mark across northern Manitoba and plus digits all throughout the south. Now, this will be the end of the plus digit temperatures. Things start to cool down with heavier clouds moving in overnight and lasting throughout tomorrow. We'll still be above seasonal, but just below the freezing mark.
Thank you, Terry. Holiday cheer rolled up to a restaurant in Winnipeg this weekend aboard a Heritage Transit bus. The Amalgamated Transit Union Local 1505 hosted its second annual Fill-A-Bus event Saturday, aiming to help families in need. The union partnered with the Christmas Cheer Board to bring hampers for the families. The bus was provided by the Manitoba Transit Heritage Society and was parked outside Four Crowns Restaurant on McPhillip Street. Organizers invited Winnipeggers to donate toys, food, or money to support the Christmas Cheer Board.
Our members are in the community every day, seeing people that unfortunately have less, struggling to get by, can't pay the full fare because they got to put food on the table. So we are very committed to helping anybody out. Whether you're trying to get to work, trying to get groceries, or an event such as this that will provide that need that so many people need right now.
Last year's event produced about 100 hampers, and organizers said they are hoping to double that this season. If you missed the event, it's not the end of it. The Christmas Cheer Board says donations are still open in person at 133 Paramount Road or online at christmascheerboard.ca. The reality for thousands in Winnipeg is living without a home. Mama Wichita is trying to solve this problem while rooted in Indigenous teachings. In this month's commitment to community, our Ainsley McPhail steps into one of their many sites, making a difference in the heart of our community.
Mama Wichita has 19 locations in Manitoba. Melissa Stone and Marion McKenzie join me now to talk about one of them here and the broader cultural programming and services. Melissa, tell us about where we are.
We are at Astama Pinikinak, which is 22 tiny homes here in central Winnipeg.
When we talk about cultural programming, what goes on here?
We have a cultural worker. Her name is Christina. So she comes in and works Tuesdays to Saturdays, and she reintegrates folks into their culture that they've lost over the years of being homeless or unsheltered. She teaches about our ways of living and learning, ceremonies, which includes drumming, our medicines. She brings in elders or knowledge keepers for more teachings.
And United Way Winnipeg is a huge partner. It's really good to have partners that are understanding of the cultural programming.
Absolutely. United Way has always been a fabulous partner to the Mama Wichita Center. We have been working with them for many years, and we love working with them because they really understand our ways of knowing and being and allow us to really incorporate that into the programming that we do across the entire organization.
The site welcomed its first residents in January of 2023. All of the units are built fully furnished, a new dream realized for so many, including one man we spoke with who has a love for dream catchers and has faced adversity along the way. There's 22 tiny homes on site with a wait list of over 200 people. One man has transformed his life and he's living here now. Conway Black joins me to tell us all about it. Get into your journey with us, and thank you for sharing.
My journey, it started with dream catchers at the river where I actually was living before I came here. It was kind of a battle for me, but I found myself here at this place. I didn't expect this place. I never knew about it, but one day a couple of people came to see me, and I actually found I see my dream. I think my dream has approached me the way I want it to be. by sobering up and, you know, seeing all my friends are still homeless, but they're still my friends, right? But I mean, I wish I could help them, but I can't. I have to help myself first, right? So, and this place is a good place. I can't complain or nothing. It's opened me up, actually, made me brighter. Follow my dreams, you know, and there are times when I get frustrated, but I pick up my dream catcher right away, and it brings my spirit up again.
United Way Winnipeg and its donors have made this possible. Something to think about as we approach another Manitoba winter. Ainsley McPhail, Your Morning Winnipeg.
Commitment to Community is brought to you by United Way Winnipeg. Here for Winnipeg.
Hello, Jermaine Franklin here inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday, and it comes from the Hurricanes and Sabres. Pick it up in the second period. Beck Malenstein pulls off, oh, that is a ridiculous move, before beating Frederick Anderson for the spectacular goal. The Sabres fourth liner going deep in his bag on this play. Malenstein is a fifth-round pick from back in 2016, and this was only his second goal of the season, but that will help them stay with the Sabres, that's for sure. That's their fourth win in the last 5 games. Tonight on TSN, it's Panthers-Niners. On Monday Night Football. Carolina looking to win 4 straight on the road for the first time since 2015. Kickoff goes 8:15 Eastern. That's all from the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds, helping your home get holiday ready with Blinds by Hunter Douglas.
It's Monday, November 24th, repairing the break. Work is ongoing to restore the regular water supply and return to normal operations at a hospital in northwest Winnipeg. Security Summit, a meeting in Ottawa of G7 security ministers, highlights Canada's unique vulnerability to the effects of international organized crime. And Superman fetches a record-setting mega price. How much did this immaculate copy of a classic and super rare comic book recently sell for? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. It's 8 o'clock on your Monday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. I decorated my house on Saturday. A lot of people might be in the process of doing so because it is a month until Christmas Eve.
1 month.
It's so crazy. And so we're going to have some tips on how to decorate with garland a little later in our Get Growing segment. And you'll want to do some of the outdoor decorations as soon as you can. Because
you should have done it already. Last weekend, just this past weekend, 10
so
degrees.
Beautiful.
What a shock for this time of year. Yeah, and that's not going to be the case this coming weekend. So if you were waiting for, say, this next weekend, because that'll technically be the first weekend of December, you'll be sitting there thinking, oh, I should have done this last weekend. Yeah, you should have, but you can still do it today because today is going to be gorgeous. It's -4 right now, and we're already above seasonal daytime highs. Look at the sun shining over us now. It's finally started to rise. The winds this morning, they're out of the west-northwest. They're 14 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, and the humidity is sitting at 96%. So sure, we're waiting a little longer each day for that sun to rise, and it's setting a little bit sooner, so shorter days and eventually cooler days. Today will be the last of the plus-digit temperatures, and not quite the double digits that we got to yesterday. Still, the conditions are looking gorgeous, fairly clear throughout central and southern Manitoba. The southwest is seeing just a few extra clouds and maybe even a little bit of light snow rolling right along that Trans-Canada Highway. And then, of course, northern Manitoba also dealing with a few extra clouds this morning. But even there, the temperatures will be pleasant and mild, just a few degrees below the freezing mark with your expected daytime highs. We'll be pushing up into the plus digits all through central and southern Manitoba. But I mentioned today will be the last of the really mild stuff. We'll still be above seasonal for the next couple of days, but you can see heavier clouds are going to start to move through, and they'll be sticking around throughout Tuesday, even Wednesday on the cloudier side, starting to see those clouds breaking up a little bit. It will start to look a little bit brighter again later on into the week, but it's also going to start to feel a little bit colder as these temperatures continue to fall off, and eventually this weekend, we're looking at below seasonal values. Thank you to Aubrey Lynn, 9 years old, for this beautiful sunset scene. And we'd love to see more of your artwork. So draw, color, or paint for us and keep that art coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Work is ongoing at Winnipeg Seven Oaks Hospital to restore normal operations after a water main break. The Winnipeg Regional Health Authority says flooding was discovered in a lower level of the hospital around 10 Saturday night. It later led to the discovery of a water main break, requiring a full water shutdown in the hospital. The WRHA says work is being done now to correct the break and to secure a temporary water supply for the hospital. Any patients scheduled for appointments or services impacted by this issue will be contacted directly. As well, any Seven Oaks Hospital dialysis patients with questions about their upcoming appointments can call 204-795-3735. If you're passing through Chinatown in Winnipeg this week, you might notice some construction firing up.
There we go.
The federal government has announced $20 million in combined funding to build a 7-story apartment building on the former Shanghai restaurant site at 232 King Street. It will have 54 affordable units. The principal architect says preparations started in April. Permits were ready by August, and activity there should start this week.
Assuming all weather, no weather factors or delivery logistical issue, ideally 18 months. I personally think 18 to 20 months is reasonable. We're all ready. The shop drawings are all coming through, is all being answered. So I'm looking for a very exciting accelerated project.
The funding includes $14.3 million from Ottawa, $3.7 million from the province, and $2 million from the city's Housing Accelerator Fund agreement. G7 security and interior ministers met in Ottawa this weekend. But as Canada joined the fight against international crime, it faced criticism over its policing efforts here at home.
The reality is that we're not getting convictions with our huge mega cases. And that is, as I indicated earlier, for a number of reasons related to the criminal justice system as a whole, disclosure and so forth.
A 2022 report found British Columbia was home to an enormous volume of money laundering, and experts say it extends across the country. This year, policing bodies in Ontario, BC, and the RCMP have all highlighted staffing shortages. While most other G7 nations have a dedicated strategy to combat organized crime, Canada does not. Something the public safety minister says he will reflect on. The government has also unveiled plans for a new financial crimes agency and has promised to hire an additional 1,000 RCMP officers. A Superman comic book has just become the most expensive in the world. This copy of Superman #1 made comic book history, shattering the record for any comic book, selling for $9.12 million. It was recently discovered hidden away in an attic in California. It was authenticated and graded at a CGC9, which is the sole highest for the issue. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic along Osborne Street. Things are moving well over here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive. If you see any problems out there, though, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
It's November, and that also means it's Movember. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. We're at Tommy Guns, and with Movember is also a conversation about mental health, and I'm joined by a fellow comedian, Big Daddy Taz. And when you talk about mental health and comedy, what is this, Sand on the Beach, sister?
I don't know what that means because I'm not hip.
We'll do Bears in the Woods.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Very common.
Very common. Most of the people that I know that are comedians and actors are considered broken in some way, right? So they take that hurt, and instead of doing something to themselves or society, they turn it into laughter, which is important, right? And they say, oh, laughter is the best medicine. Psychology is pretty good medicine too, or psychiatry, cardiology.
Actual medicine.
Actual medicine, right? Instead of, because when I was seeking my medicine, I knew that there were two different types of pharmacists. There was a guy that wore a white coat, and my guy wore a jean jacket. So I'm just saying that's where I used to get my stuff. But
one had many degrees.
Many degrees. But it's we don't ask for help. Men are born with this inability to understand that they're not invincible. They don't think that they need to ask for help. If they ask for help, it's a sign of weakness, and it's not. It really isn't. But you know, generations of saying, you know, be a man, grow a pair, all that sort of stuff. It's so toxic, right? I didn't ask for help for a long time. I didn't ask for help after a number of attempts to take myself away from this world that loves me, and I didn't realize that I was loved until I had my brain sort of straight, right? And so when you're asking yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I crying? Why am I upset? Why am I not a man? It's not that. You're human. And ask for help. Women have a support group. It seems it's called Women, and men can't even focus on their own emotions. So we have a problem asking for help, right? It's a weakness. No, it's not. It's a huge, huge, huge step towards a wonderful life, man. It's awesome.
We're almost out of time, and I know if I ask you another question,
it'll be forever.
It'll be a very long time. But thank you.
But
thank you. I know this guy. Yeah.
Ainsley is awesome. I'm awesomerist. So ask for help. That's all I want you to do. Get on the phone, call somebody that you know, and if you know somebody's struggling, get at her.
That's a good message. Okay, thanks, you guys.
Back to you, whoever.
Okay. Well, polls have shown a majority of Canadians believe there is intelligent life out there among the stars, and someone could get their hands on decades worth of research into UFOs, all sitting in a Vancouver warehouse. CTV's Andrew Johnson has more on how it ended up there and what's inside.
This is the UFO haven, I guess.
Jeff Schwartz has seen a lot in his 40 years in the liquidation business, but nothing quite as unusual as this.
I get all kinds of stuff, anything and everything that you could possibly think of. Getting something like this, I would say it's probably in the top one, if not the top one.
The paranormal collection comes from California, and a guy by the name of Chris Wyatt, who produced multiple documentaries on UFOs and alien encounters.
Became Hollywood's de facto UFO producer in the mid to late 90s.
He spent years gathering evidence, declassified government documents, and recording testimonials. Also included in the auction, this, and it's not your normal family photo album. Inside, photographs captured over decades all over the world, alleged UFO sightings long before the era of Photoshop.
You can see fighter jets chasing some of these UFOs.
The centerpiece comes from Roswell Air Force Base in New Mexico, where the alleged remains of a UFO and its alien crew were taken in 1947 after a crash. It's a yearbook detailing who worked at the base at the time. Wyatt says all copies were confiscated, but a former officer approached him with one he'd saved.
This gentleman was in an oxygen tank. He said, "I don't have long to live. This is my prized possession, and I think you're the guy to own it."
Wyatt has now left his film career behind and hopes the collection is bought next month by a production company interested in investigating further. The Vancouver sellers say it sparked a lot of discussion on close encounters in the city that provided the setting for the X-Files.
I've talked to a few people, and everybody seems to kind of have a story.
Maybe the truth is right here. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
A look now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower expert for more than 40 years. A gorgeous start to your Monday morning. It will be another beautiful day, not quite as warm as it was over the weekend. That was pretty exceptional as we pushed up into the double digits. But still today, we're going to be well above seasonal. In fact, we already are sitting at what would be a normal daytime high, -5 at the moment here in Winnipeg, and plenty of sunshine to enjoy throughout the day. Seeing similar temperatures or warmer temperatures for the most part. I mean, we're at -5 along with Fisher Branch, and then moving up into central and then parts of northern Manitoba, you're seeing some -6s, but many of us are above those seasonal daytime highs already, including the Morden Winkler area already at the freezing mark. Further up into northern Manitoba, just a fistful or slightly cooler, more than degrees below the freezing mark, but even northern Manitoba, when typical daytime highs would have you in the minus double digits, you're going to be well above that. You already are well above that first thing this morning. Heavier clouds hanging around, though, across much of northern Manitoba. And here through the southwest, you can see there's also a little extra clouds and maybe even some scattered precipitation just passing through that very southwestern corner. Looks like it could be affecting right along the Trans-Canada Highway. Here in the southeast, things will be a little bit clearer, a little bit brighter, a little bit sunnier. It's going to be a gorgeous day today. -4 expected as kids are getting settled into the classrooms. 1 degree by lunchtime, already cracking the freezing mark and headed to a high of 3 degrees. And today will be the end of the plus-digit temperatures. After this, things will start to cool down a little bit. We'll see heavier clouds moving in overnight. They'll be sticking around through the day tomorrow. And from there, eventually, we'll get back to the sunnier conditions, but cooler temperatures as the mercury drops off below what is normal for this time of year. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Dodgeball Manitoba hosted the Western Dodgeball Championships over the weekend. The two-day national tournament was held at the Dakota Fieldhouse in St. Vital and featured 47 teams from across Canada and the U.S. Saturday was for gender divisions and Sunday was for mixed divisions. One of the athletes said it's just like what you might remember from gym class, but with a comprehensive rule book.
6 versus 6, and there's 6 balls on the court, and the goal is to eliminate the other team first, and then you play for 40 minutes, and whoever accumulates the most points wins the match.
Nick Renee added that Winnipeg always sends around 7 players to club championships, with majority of them playing in the playoffs. He also said that on an international stage, Canada is one of the juggernauts playing against the U.S., Malaysia, and Hong Kong.
It will be interesting to see what happens on the markets in the coming days. With a short week south of the border, American Thanksgiving is on Thursday. There was a ton of volatility last week. Both the TSX and U.S. markets did close higher Friday. The head of the U.S. Federal Reserve says he's looking at another possible rate cut in December. Prime Minister Mark Carney is back in the country after looking for more trade partners. Carney announced Sunday that the federal government and South Africa agreed to launch discussions for an investment protection pact. And Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Canada will also get into full negotiations with India for a comprehensive trade deal. And a new survey has found that artificial intelligence will likely become another helper for Santa this holiday season. A survey commissioned by Shopify polled 18,000 consumers and 7,500 business leaders and found that 64% will use AI for at least one shopping task. People aged 18 to 24 years old, a whopping 84% will make use of that technology. Those are your morning business headlines for BNN Bloomberg. I'm Matt Scooby.
If you want Santa Claus to come to your house and say, hey, I love the look of that mantle, you gotta come to St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Carla, there's just so many different options.
There are, and you know what, we're talking about garlands, and there's so many different garlands now that are around. And I have to say that if you feel it and touch it, you can see where I say the expression. I know. They're called real feel garlands, and they have a different density or different look to them. So depending on whether you want to do it on a mantle, not everyone has a mantelpiece, but you can do it on a sideboard table, entrance tables. So the utilization of this is not just doorways and stairwells.
Everything,
So they're very traditional, that's in through there. And again, you want to choose the style that suits the area that you're going to. Like this one is almost ready to be simple by itself, pre-decorated and that. But what I do want to show you is there's one that is very, very popular right now. It's the Norfolk Pine garland, and then the mixed garland that we have through here. But what you can think about is how you want to blend them. I'm going to pick this one, and I'm going to show you. You can put them together. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Maybe if you have an older variety that has more of the wiring, you can blend this into it, and it really makes it kind of pop, like oompa that's in it. But using a garland, and here we've got our little fireplace. I'm going to show you that if you just by resting it on the top of the fireplace, you can have it go around on the area, and this is where you want to blend it in and have it mixed with stuff. Now I grabbed some berries because we're in the burgundy sort of travel section. And what you want to do is just by taking some of the picks and giving it a direction and pushing it into some of the areas, it's going to give you some color to your garlands. Now, if I wanted to, I could place some ribbon in through here as well. and try and treat it sort of as it's going. Like, I would probably push this. I'm trying to do this fast for Kenny so you can kind of get the idea.
Yeah.
But if you're pushing in, and see how I'm not even wiring it, because if I want to change it the next year and I'm not gluing, and just because it's sparkly,
you have to do sparkle.
Yeah, keep it till New Year's. Keep it till New Year's and push them through. So staking it through, and just remember all of the different wiring that you have for different areas. You can use that wire, bend the wiring, give it a little bit of dimension. And now I want to show you. Everyone's got candlestick holders at home, if you have them. So incorporate them into your garland and put some to the front, some to the back, and that way you can start to see the elements that come together. And even if I wanted to, I've got a rose tree that's in here, tuck the little trees right beside it, and give yourself sort of that little feature. This will create something that is going to tie your fireplace into what your room is going to be design style. So come on down and see what there is, because there's so many different possibilities of decorating that we're showing you.
We didn't even show you 1/10 of it, so you guys got to come in.
You got to come in.
Get Growing is brought to you by St. Mary's Nursery and Garden Center. Get a lush yard and garden thanks to expert advice from gardening professionals.
It is looking so beautiful out here this morning. Sunshine to kick off your Monday. Of course, we had to wait our sweet time for it to rise. Exercising that patience this morning. 7:55 though, that's when sunrise happened, and now sun is up and we've got beautiful blue sky above. -5 is where we're sitting right now with a bit of a breeze, a 13K wind out of the west this morning. The pressure is rising. The humidity is sitting at 97%. Pretty clear overall, just a few clouds here or there. That'll be the case through the southeast and much of central Manitoba. Southwestern Manitoba is waking up to a few extra clouds and maybe even some scattered flurries rolling right along that Trans-Canada Highway through the southwestern part of the province. And then there's northern Manitoba also waking up to some heavier clouds. But it doesn't matter where in the province you are, we're already well above seasonal with these temperatures, and we'll still likely make some gains through the day today. So for northern Manitoba, you'll actually end up only a few degrees below the freezing mark. And here across central and southern Manitoba, plus digits is where we're headed today. Not quite as spectacular as yesterday. We got up to 10 degrees here in Winnipeg, or 9.8, rounding up to 10. But today we'll still be on the plus side of freezing, getting to a high of about 3 degrees with the sun shining over us. Then the heavier clouds move in overnight. They'll stick around for tomorrow, and we're going to see these temperatures slowly declining through the rest of the week. Speaking of sunrise, how stunning is this? Fresh snow, fresh ice out on the lake, out in the Knee Lake area. Thanks to Wayne for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
When you give a child a winter coat, you're giving a child the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside. When you give a child a winter coat, you're giving them the freedom to create warm winter memories, because no child should be freezing cold. Kids should be able to go outside and have fun. Donate to Coats for Kids. Drop off new or gently used winter wear at these participating businesses. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
If you have little ones on the list or kids you need to buy for, you may want to pay attention to this one, because we're bringing in a parenting expert to have this chat today. Sherry French joining us this morning. Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning. And yes, 'tis the season. Let's get shopping.
Okay, then. Let's get shopping. Let's talk about some of the top toys that are on your list this year.
Absolutely. Well, there's one store that I'm always heading to during the holiday season. Let's be honest, multiple times the lady at the cash out knows me. Canadian Tire, the one-stop shop for everything you need for the holiday season, Canada's Christmas store. So it doesn't matter what budget, age, or style of gift you're looking for, Canadian Tire has toys that will spark imagination, from all the sports products to Lego sets too. So I have a niece and nephew, Jack. He's my sporty guy. He didn't ask for anything, but this is what I've got him. I've got him the Wilson NBA All-Team Retro Classic Basketball. Maybe he'll rally with his sister down below with the Matrix Pickleball set. Ooh, now, fun. Annie on the other hand, she gave me the list. There's the Lego Botanicals Happy Plants that she wanted, as well as Gabby's Meow Amazing Dollhouse. So make sure, head in store like I love to do, or online at Canada's Christmas store, Canadian Tire.
All right, that all sounds like fun, I've got to say. Now, you've also got something for the wee little ones, don't you?
Yeah, you are going to love this. So if you're looking for the perfect gift, whether you've got newborns, toddlers, or even that expectant mom, you must see this Little Charlie My First Bath ritual gift set from Bathorium. They were just named to Oprah's favorite things list for 2025. So you have to go get it now. So, you know, during bath time, especially when my kids were little, it was such a ritual, right? It was a time we had together. We did the same thing every night. Well, this is actually a complete soap-free baby bath ritual designed for newborns, toddlers with eczema-prone skin. It's dermatologist-approved, toxin-free formulas there to support eczema, relief, hydration, and give those kids better sleep. The packaging, beautifully packaged in this keepsake gift box, you are going to get. You're gonna get coconut oil bath soap. You're gonna get bubble bath milk here, as well as a bathing sponge and a scoop. So make sure head to bathorium.com. Perfect gift for those newborn toddlers or those expectant moms.
Very cool. Now, you don't earn a title like Mom Expert if you don't have the answer to life's burning questions. How does Santa get in the home if there isn't a fireplace, Sherry?
Yes, well, I was raised in a home with a fireplace, and my kids were raised in a home with a fireplace. But many people do not. So how's Santa going to get in? I've got a great hack. You're just going to go find a key. Do not use your front door key. Use some old key. This is from my husband's office, I think in Germany. We use this key. You're going to grab some red nail polish. You're going to paint the key. Add a ribbon on, and then you're going to hang it on that front door. So Santa has no issue getting into your house on Christmas Eve to leave the kids all the gifts.
I love that. A fun little craft that you can get busy with the kids with, and then, of course, the great ideas to put those smiles on their faces at Christmas morning. Sherry, thanks so much for joining us. So we really appreciate your time.
Thanks so much, and happy holidays, everybody.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Beautiful start to your morning. It's -5 right now and plenty of sunshine to kick things off on your Monday morning. There's just a light breeze. It's out of the west, 13 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 97%. That sunshine is going to be sticking around throughout the day today for central and southeastern Manitoba, and enjoy it because it won't be sticking around for tomorrow. We've got some heavier clouds that'll eventually move in. And in fact, we're already seeing some clouds and a little bit of snow that's been moving right along the Trans-Canada Highway through southwestern Manitoba. And of course, you can see up through northern Manitoba, there's a few extra clouds there as well. In the southeast and Winnipeg more specifically, 3 degrees with the sun shining over us and just a light wind. It'll be out of the northwest at about 15 kilometers per hour and temperatures up into the plus digits once again. 3 degrees when -5 is a normal daytime high. We're actually at -5 this morning. That's been our coldest temperature, and we'll continue to make those gains throughout the day today. Only dropping to -3 overnight, so another mild night ahead around -14 would be a normal low. But we will see those heavier clouds moving in. There's the possibility, a slim chance, but a chance of some scattered precipitation. A few flakes of snow could fall overnight, or maybe even tomorrow with the heavier clouds lingering. Tomorrow, we're not likely to crack the freezing mark, getting up to only -2. But again, I'll remind you, -5 is normal. So even though we're not cracking the freezing mark tomorrow, we will remain above seasonal for another couple of days before we're suddenly not above seasonal as we're looking toward the end of the week and the weekend. We'll see a little more sunshine after the heavier clouds tomorrow. I got an ew from Kimming. We've been spoiled. We've been spoiled. So this isn't far off of normal, but next week we could get even further off the mark.
Thank you, Terry. The Manitoba Nurses Union has voted to grey list a second hospital in the province due to unsafe working conditions. About 97% of nurses voted Friday in favor of the measure at Thompson General Hospital in northern Manitoba after a shooting in its chapel this year. Grey listing is a move nurses can take to discourage others from taking jobs at a hospital they deem unsafe. Earlier this summer, nurses voted to grey list Winnipeg's Health Sciences Centre after a string of sexual assaults outside the hospital and one assault inside. Winnipeg's Jamaican community came together to support recovery efforts after Hurricane Melissa devastated parts of Jamaica last month. Jamaica Strong was hosted by the Jamaican Association of Manitoba and the Honorary Consul of Jamaica in Winnipeg. The hurricane made landfall in late October, causing landslides, fallen trees, and widespread power outages. The fundraiser aimed to help families rebuild after the disaster. The event featured Caribbean cuisine, live performances, and support from local organizations.
Some locations in Jamaica don't have electricity still, don't have internet, are having access problems to food and water. So I think the fact that we can do something like this to bring everybody together to make sure that we're helping those who we can is really important. I think that's what Winnipeg is really known for, giving back and coming together as a community.
Nadia Thompson added they are only accepting monetary donations due to shipping issues. Contributions can still be made through the Jamaican Association of Manitoba's website. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he's in no rush to resume trade talks after they were halted over anti-tariff ads last month.
He accepted the apology when I spoke to him, and we've had discussions. I've been busy. There's another point, though. I've been busy. We passed a budget with that's going to catalyze $1 trillion of investment.
Carney says he and U.S. President Donald Trump have been busy, but that talks will resume when appropriate. The Prime Minister says he expects to speak with Trump sometime in the next 2 weeks, but is ready for when the Americans want to return to the table. A bold suggestion from Canada's top military strategists who want to create a volunteer force to help defend the country from both man-made and natural disasters. CTV's Judy Trin takes a look at what that kind of defense corps could look like.
Facing rising threats from climate change and competing states, testing Canada's sovereignty, military strategists want the federal government to create a volunteer defense corps made up of 300,000 citizens.
When we're thinking about the number of events and domestic operations we've had in terms of fighting forest fires and so on, so this is all part of our transformation effort, and all Canadians will be, of course, voluntarily invited to serve.
The document, drafted by the Strategic Joint Staff, says the force would have less restrictive age limits and lower physical standards and fitness requirements. The plan hasn't been approved by the government, but the Defense Minister supports the idea.
The notion of having a civil force or a civil group of Canadians who are ready, willing, and able to serve their country is something that has been talked about for years in Canada. It's something that our allies are doing and pursuing very, very actively.
In countries like Sweden and Finland, hundreds of thousands of citizens are trained to operate bomb shelters and respond to natural disasters. Under Canada's plan, the volunteers would get 5 days of training each year to learn how to shoot a gun, drive a truck, and operate a drone. They would not be paid.
It's no surprise that the Department of National Defence and Canadian Armed Forces would look to many sources to recruit people from, including people who are already dedicated to public service. They may be federal, they may be provincial, they may be municipal, they may be in business, they may be in the banking sector, they may be on Bay Street.
But the number of volunteer recruits may be too ambitious when the Canadian military is still dealing with a shortage of 15,000 soldiers. McGuinty says he's confident the $82 billion the federal government earmarked for defense in this year's budget will lead to more interest in the military and more recruits. Judy Trin, CTV News, Toronto.
Taking a look now at the current traffic situation on Donald Street. Looks like things are moving well here. We have no issues to tell you about. If you see problems, let us know, please. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average stands at $1.34. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.28. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.27. And the lowest price in the city is $1.14. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
For our question of the day, we wanted to know if you have a unique talent. Marcy makes all sorts of things out of epoxy resin. Her favorite things to make are wind chimes and dream catchers. Marlene can write full paragraphs in the dark or without looking. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Tommy Guns this morning. It's Movember.
Rochelle, if I made the mistake earlier in not remembering what the cheeky little slogan was here at Tommy Guns, it is in fact cuts for nuts. Arlene, you're going to have to speak to that.
Yes, for sure. So this is, again, all about our men's mental health and prostate cancer and testicular cancer. So Cuts for Nuts is awareness, bringing it to all those, things that we need to take care of with our men and make sure they're healthy. Yeah.
And the wall up there, though, with those $2 or more donations certainly is filling up. Do you really feel like the community's rallying around it?
Oh, it's awesome. We have 90-some locations, and we're just doing an awesome job. And thank you to our guests who are coming in, and they're donating to these mustaches for our men's mental awareness.
Well, of course, your clientele, predominantly men.
Absolutely.
But you yourself as a woman, why is it so important to give back?
Well, I think it's very important. I have 8 brothers and I have 5 grandsons. And you know what? Hey, we got to keep life going, and it's got to be healthy and happy, right?
Yeah. We've brought in the finest and most handsome men in Winnipeg and in Manitoba. What's going on here?
Well, right over here we have Ryan, and this is his night out mustache. So we have the mustache design creams there. For Brooke, and she's put this in here, and this is a night on the town. So if you want to come over to Tommy Guns, we'll show you how to groom him for the rest of the month. And hey, who knows, you might want to keep him longer.
Oh my goodness, my dad has that mustache, and he was walking around Winnipeg going, I've had this for 42 years. And we're like, good for you. Okay, what's going on next?
Right here we're doing, Chloe is doing a nice bald head shave here on Taz. The little devil that he is. Yeah, so straight blade shave. So come on down and have a straight blade shave. All the shave services that we're doing at Tommy Guns, we are donating a portion to Movember.
I don't think Taz knew that this is what his morning was going to be like, but I think we're all glad. Are you glad?
No, I thought she was going to do my back, but yeah, this is fine.
And we would have stopped there. All right, item number 3.
Okay, over here, Chloe is doing a beard grooming. So this is where you come into Tommy Guns, and we're going to clean up the cheeks and the bottom of your neck and trim the mustache and the beard for you. However, you might not want to do the mustache till the end of the month, but please feel free to come in and get yourself pampered at Tommy Guns.
Well, you still have a bit of time left to make sure that this happens. I know that we're laughing and joking around, but obviously it's serious stuff when we're talking about men's mental health, but this is how we get through it, and it's so great to be around the people here doing just the same.
Yeah, so important indeed. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop. It looks like the sun is shining.
Oh, it sure is, Rochelle. Beautiful and bright out here. Blue sky above and just a few clouds here or there. We'll see a few more of those clouds moving in overnight and sticking around for tomorrow. So do make sure that you're out here soaking up the sunshine today, and not just the sunshine, these well above seasonal temperatures. Normal lows would be about minus 14 degrees. We're sitting at minus 5. That's actually a normal daytime high, and we've been there all morning long. That's been our coolest temperature, but we will continue to make some really nice gains that'll put us on the plus side of freezing later today. The winds, they're 13 clicks out of the west, with the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 97%. And yes, all through central and the southeast anyway, we're looking at enjoying some sunshine today. Southwestern Manitoba might be seeing a few extra clouds this morning, and certainly northern Manitoba, a few extra clouds. And with those clouds, maybe even a few flakes of snow as well, which could be the case for us tonight when those heavier clouds start to move in. And as I mentioned earlier, they'll stick around through the day tomorrow, but we're still likely to deal with above seasonal temperatures, even though tomorrow we're not likely to crack the freezing mark. We will today, pushing up to a high of plus 3, but tomorrow a couple degrees below freezing, still above seasonal. But each day throughout this week, those temperatures get a little bit cooler, and eventually by the time the weekend rolls around, we could be below what is normal this time of year. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning. There was a giant Christmas tree sale in Pennsylvania this week. About 50,000 trees and a huge array of other seasonal items were bought and sold at an auction in Mifflinburg. Buyers from across the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic were there to supply garden stores and other retail outlets. A trade group says more than 21 million farm-grown Christmas trees were sold in 2023 with median price of $75. Seniors in Atlantic Canada are turning to sleeping pills more than in any other part of the country to deal with insomnia. And that has one researcher speaking out about alternative options to avoid overuse of the drug. CTV's Sarah Plowman has the details.
In the morning, George Marcoux feels lighter, has more energy. Welcome after decades of struggling to sleep.
I was taking those sleeping pills as I take a candy, that's all. You know? So I did it for 35 years.
He didn't question it when a doctor prescribed him the sleeping pill, but after a near car accident, he wondered about the side effects.
I was waking up in the morning and I was looking dizzy or...
Mark, who joined a study to wean himself off the drug, he journaled, did cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI. It worked.
In a scale of 0 to 10, how I feel is 10.
This Dalhousie researcher is hosting public talks to share new data, along with alternatives to the pills.
We should be rethinking our overuse of sleeping pills, and we should start to look more into how can we quickly, easily access CBTI and use it as our baseline default treatment of insomnia.
New Brunswick has the highest rate of sleeping pill use among seniors in Canada at 22%. The national average is 8%.
There's some parts of New Brunswick where the rates are 3 to 4 times as high as other parts of New Brunswick.
It's unclear why. Professor David Gardner has a theory.
If you start to see other people using sleeping pills and you're having a few rough nights of sleep, you'll go ask about sleeping pills. Or if your colleagues are prescribing sleeping pills commonly, you'll be thinking about that.
When their studies sent seniors booklets laying out alternatives, researchers say a quarter of patients stopped their medications and improved their sleep. Marcoux was one.
I'm not asking people to stop. I'm asking people to talk to their doctor and their pharmacist about that.
Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
At Village Optical today, and I'm joined by Dr. Cody Van Dyke, talking about how an optometrist is somewhat unique when it comes to what doctors do and what you are. So give us a little bit of an overview of what an optometrist does.
Absolutely. So an optometrist is, to get a little complicated, a provider of primary comprehensive vision care for all Manitobans. What that means, first of all, is you don't need a referral to see your optometrist. You can call them right now. You can go to the Manitoba Association of Optometrists website, use their Find an Optometrist tool and find one near you. You can call them up and you can get your eyes checked. And we provide that service to the entire family. Manitobans of all ages should be getting their eyes checked regularly. We can talk about how often a little bit later, but it's something that everyone should be doing. It should be part of your regular health routine.
Okay. Some people might be a little bit nervous about the idea of having you poking around in their eyes. So let's talk a little bit about what that session looks like, or what a visit to the optometrist would include.
So an eye exam usually starts with a history, questions, same as many doctor visits, and then we can break it into two parts, and the part that most people think about is getting your prescription checked, 1 or 2, which is clear, and that's a really important part of it. Of course, we want you to be seeing your best, but there's a big conversation that has to come from that. Do you want glasses? Do you want contacts? Do you want both? And if you need glasses, do you need just distance ones? Do you need progressives? Do you need something targeted for office or computer use? There's lots of lens technologies, there's lots of options out there, and the optometrist is the right person to have that first conversation with. The other part of the eye exam that is crucial and that we need to talk about more is the health check. So looking at the health of the eyes and the visual system, the skin and around the eyes, the surface of the eye, of course, having a good look into the back and checking the important structures there. What's crucial to remember is there, at all ages, can be eye diseases or ocular conditions that are changing your eye, but you don't know yet. When we think about baby boomers, we think about macular degeneration or cataracts. Your vision can be 20/20, your vision can be perfect, but your optometrist can detect those early changes, diagnose you with the condition, start treatment, and hopefully prevent those more negative outcomes. Also for little ones, a lot of the time when a kid needs glasses, there's no obvious symptoms. They don't talk about blurriness or headaches or things like that. Get their eyes checked.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, kids don't know what they don't know, right? Exactly. And when things just kind of progress, they have no idea that something is up. So
and they might not need glasses in grade 2, but they need them in grade 3. So we want to make sure we're getting those regular exams every year.
Okay.
Great part of the back-to-school routine.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I mean, some of the things that you'll be able to detect, even as adults, we would necessarily be able to, know that our vision is blurry, but sometimes those aren't always symptoms. So regular eye exams, that brings us back to how often?
So if you are age 19 to 64 and you don't have a condition impacting your eyes or the health of your eyes, every 2 years is great. Okay. If you're outside of that, so anyone 18 and under, any seniors, elders, patients with diabetes, or patients with other conditions impacting their eyes or ocular health, it should be once a year.
Okay, and kids, that's a free visit?
Yes, kids' eye exams are covered under Manitoba Health. Comprehensive care once a year, absolutely.
Excellent.
No reason not to.
And you touched on it at the beginning, but if they need to find an optometrist, where do they go?
Manitoba Association of Optometrists website has a Find an Optometrist tool. Where are you in the province? What neighborhood are you in? And you can go from there.
Thanks so much, Dr. Cody. Appreciate the chat.
Of course. Thanks for coming.
Sunglasses is what you're going to need today to be protecting those eyes. It is beautiful, it's bright, and it's well above seasonal. -5 is where we're sitting right now with winds out of the west. They're just 13 kilometers per hour and will remain on the lighter side today. The pressure is rising and the humidity is sitting at 97%. These conditions, gorgeous. All of that sunshine, plus digits is where we're headed today. Not quite the double digits that we got to yesterday, but still beautiful and well above what you would expect this time of year. Here through the southwest, we've been watching on the satellite image the clouds, the little bit of snow earlier that seems to have tapered off now, but heavier clouds are also likely to linger across much of northern Manitoba. And we'll see those clouds moving in overnight and could even possibly bring a few flakes of snow. Lingering through the day tomorrow, temperatures won't be anywhere near as mild. Plus digits on tap for today, but then it starts to cool down a little bit. Now, -5 is normal for this time of year, so even as it cools down, we're staying above that seasonal -5 until suddenly we aren't, and that could be the case as we're looking toward the end of the week and into the coming weekend. After some heavier clouds tomorrow, it will eventually get brighter, but it's also going to get cooler, so just know that change up is coming. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by S&Teak Spa Salon.
BC's Capilano Suspension Bridge is ready for Christmas. Decorations are up for this year's Canyon Lights event at the Suspension Bridge Park. This year they've added 3D light projections of bears, coyotes, and owls for a wild light event. It's beautiful. Look at that.
Ooh, that's
Gorgeous.
pretty.
Well, now for a look at some smooth dance moves. This dancing senior can be seen in bars, parks, and on the street getting his groove on. When you're this good, you have to show off and put the best jeans on while you're at it. Look at him go.
I know, but I almost want to see those jeans lopped off a few inches so I can see the footwork better.
See his feet, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He's stylish. Look at him go. I'm impressed. He's got nice pockets.
Those are moves.
Yes, and then finally, Slinkies are a classic toy, but did you know they do more than just slink? These two Slinky masters go hand to hand with the old school toy. This video has gone viral with over 57 million views. Many commentators wanting to learn these moves.
No way, that would be a tangled mess. We've all had the Slinky getting those knots. No way, this is AI. I don't believe it. I will not believe it.
That does it for us. We'll see you tomorrow.